Welcome. Welcome to Let Me Out Productions and the Top Brass Dow. I won't be singing it today because I'm trying to impress the youth to the point where at least I'll be invited to Streamer University 2026. So, my name's Kimani Okearah. I'm a chopped unk media producer of since 2004, 22 years of experience. I'm a media producer and a behavioral scientist via cognitive linguistics. And I'll lead off my pitch with the idea that I'm one of the original chat producers in the world with my show over at TYT when I was a producer over there. And this is called TYT Community. The channel used to be called TYT Community. It's since been transitioned to The Logical Leftist by Jeff. Shout out to Jeff Waldorf.
The most important thing that we can do right now is to re-engage the American people in the process of governance, to get them excited and interested again in what works.
Hi, my name's Kimani David. I'm the Young Turks Community Ambassador, and this is the first ever episode of TYT Community, in which we have community members from all over the country, all over the world, come talk about important issues. Hi, everybody. Would you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Jeff Waldorf, a TYT community member, obviously. I'm from Michigan, and that's it.
I'm Kevin Wayne, TYT community member from Florida.
Today we're going to be talking about the RNC, among other things, and the general issues with the Republican platform, how Republicans present themselves, and how that's not a winning strategy. First, we're going to start off with the funniness of Clint Eastwood at the Republican National Convention. We'll play a little snippet of that here for you guys.
Okay, enough about that. You guys can watch this, TYT Community. Yeah, well, this is Streaming Chat-Interactive Deliverables, aka Skids. I'll put it in the box up here. I'll put it into chat, actually. What do you mean YouTube is not receiving enough video to continue the stream? What are we talking about? What? Oh, I just messed up. Okay. Wow. This stream's going really well. Yeah, so anyway, chopped unk over here, TYT Community, Streaming Chat-Interactive Deliverables. And what I want to do is put my chat on the screen. There we are. What? If I can click something wrong, I'm going to click it wrong. That's what's happening today. Okay. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled programming, everybody. We'll be talking about my streaming struggles and why I don't stream, in fact. But yeah, I've sent in my application to Kaisenet and Streamer University 2026, and I'm one of the original chat streamers ever. So, hooray! Now, beyond that, beyond the being an origin for the entire genre, October 24th, 2012. I also did a show called Lens Face on the sidelines of the NBA for several years. So, and then that leads into another thing we're doing we're co-publishing a show called Press Pass. So here I made up a character. Let me give you the background lore. I was a media producer. I was working as a photojournalist and producer in the sidelines of NBA basketball in Sacramento. And about 4 years into it, let's see, 2016, yeah, 3 or 4 years into it, between that third and fourth year, I had decided that I wasn't doing enough with the access that I had been given. I wasn't adding enough to the fan experience. I have a phenomenal gallery of NBA work as a photojournalist. I'm very proud of that. But there are 20 to 50 of me in every circuit. So, you can go look at my gallery at NBA Lensface on Instagram. I'll put it in chat for chatters. Oh, that's right. I guess we get the lighter panel today. That's all right. So there's my the gallery that's specifically NBA photos. So if you're wondering why a lot of these aren't for purchase on the publishing tool of blockchain, it's because y'all haven't valued the ones that I've currently put up. I would like to see some of that market move before I add additional pieces to the supply. There's such a thing called saturation, especially as an artist. But I hear you. There's some really great looks here. Shout out my dude Marvin. Rookie Marvin destroyed Rudy Gobert. Shout out Coach Pop. Kind of doubt the Spurs would be struggling. They'd have at least one more win if Coach Pop were the head coach instead of Mitch Johnson. I'm sick of my guy De'Aaron Fox getting all the hate. He's a far cry from this specific De'Aaron Fox. So this version of De'Aaron Fox dunks all over OG, I think. I think he yams it on him. But yeah, anyway, I could go back and scroll my work for days. Shout out to Jeff Teague here. You know, I'll turn this one into a shot on the blockchain, and Teague can buy it. That's a perfect shot for Teague. He played for the Jazz too, right, Jeff Teague? Oh, Willie, don't why? Ooh, what are you doing to him, Willie? Come on now. Okay, NBA Lensface. Great streaming material for all your streamers. You can go to NBA Lensface on Instagram and just look through a hidden little archive of hilarious, and well, not that one. That particular shot's hilarious. Look what's hiding underneath Slamson's mane. Come on, that's worth it in. That's my ticket. That's my ticket to Streamer University. Come on now. I bet you we can get Terrence Howard to come to the come teach us math. Ooh, the Bledsoe. Kentucky on Kentucky crime right here. Oh man. I'm still fire with this. I just don't do it unless somebody's going to pay me $2,500 a game, at least, and I get my rights to my work, which that's the big rub these days. Although I'm sure the NBA sees the point in letting me own my work. Ooh, you can get this one. I know that one is available. You loaded on OpenSea? There we go. put that in chat. And making people buy all the original published works. No, don't. Link to account. There you go. It's only $3,000 if somebody wants a 5K image of Willie Cauley-Stein dunking all over Rudy Gobert. And then I can pay some bills for like 6 months straight. That'd be nice. Okay, so I am the founder of a studio called Let Me Out Productions. We are a co-publishing house. We are currently co-publishing our brand as an intellectual property. We are also co-publishing a project called Musical Bears to teach co-publishing. This is a community garden of different bears, and we have an esoteric that we teach what co-publishing even is through. Why am I getting this wrong? There we go. Co-publish the stage. Okay. The mouth of the bear is the stage. Co-publish the shelf. You have the nose, the nostrils, and the whiskers is what we call this one, the bear. Co-publish the shelf. Co-publish each other. That's you, that's me, that's you, that's you, that's me, either way. This little dot here is a morsel of food, and we're eating off the same plate. So co-publish each other. But in the bear, this is cheek, the left cheek, the right cheek, and then the mouth whiskers. Come on. Come on. I need a new computer. This one is now 5 years old. So my phone is also like 3 or 4 years old. So I might need a sponsor for some equipment for Streamer University. Old Unc over here. Co-publish yourself. You complete a result. One result after each other. Just keep stacking them in a cycle. Co-publish yourself. So co-publish the stage, co-publish the shelf, co-publish each other, co-publish yourself. And Kai, you're doing a great job at co-publishing the stage. That's anything visible that shapes the mind. And it's a dream, I think, of all of us to get to a major platform of reach and wealth and be able to uplift that elevator for other people. That's what it's all about. That's what the whole thing is about. I mean, I think the entertainment product is we just make toys, you know. So yeah, I would like to one, learn how to stream better. I'm clearly not good at this. I can be chat one of the original chat daddies all you want, but I'm a framework guy. I'm a publishing structure guy. So I can conceive publishing as a community garden on the blockchain, which this is real quick. Now that you guys understand the esoteric. What do y'all talk about when we're waiting for a verification? Is it this amazing 5K shot of Willie Cauley-Stein ducking all over Rudy Gobert? Don't right-click Save As. You need to buy the title. Ooh. Look at that. Somebody said my shots were like Renaissance paintings. I mean, I will say the crowd is textured perfectly. Willie himself, this part is out of focus. Oh, cool. Somebody won $7 grand off a raffle. I need to win $7 grand. Who's this? He's so mad. Anyway, yeah. You see how mad the mad guy under here under this sign where you can clearly read the text. You can clearly see it's a Washington Wizards versus Kings. It's in a blown out sign. But look how see this sign over here and this man. Look how small this is on this frame. This is what I'm talking about with 5K print canvas. And we're talking about like 1/8 of the width and maybe 1/10 of the height of the frame in that little section. So anyway, these shots are incredible property. Somebody buy this and put this up in the back of their podcast. It is it's just a funny piece to have. It's like, why do you have a shot of Willie Cauley-Stein dunking the sun on? I did not add that. That's the arena light that just came through. And by the way, he did. This was called a foul on Rudy, which is hilarious. And that's already funny. And Willie missed the dunk. So just know that. Full transparency before somebody buys the shot for $3,000. It's the art of the shot that you're buying, and the Okearah value. That is one of my goals. I want to be clear cut. I have a great catalog of published assets within my legacy as a media publisher and a producer, but it doesn't have any value with no audience. And I'm not charismatic enough at this point in time, and at 36 years old, to win that audience organically. So go back to the gram. Let's put on a random episode of Lens Face.
Remember that game earlier this year when I came to the arena in slippers? Lens Face.
33, Anthony Tolliver. And please welcome back number 17, Garrett Temple.
Kings versus Jazz. Standing ovation for Gary Gerald.
17. Now, again, I'm not going to bring that attitude in there. I'm not. I want to. It's a streamer university. I applied as a student. I didn't apply as a coach. I want to come in to learn. I want to come in to grow audience, to be a part of the media production community in this country. I did not look. You all have never heard of me, most likely, and this only has 347 views. This is the original channel of the upload. Jeff changed it to his own brand, as he has the right to do. I gave him the channel after I left TYT, and in fact, it was a channel that didn't even belong to me at all. Like, I inherited it from the previous whatever. I don't even remember how I got this channel. Because there was stuff on it before from... Anyway, you can look at it. The Logical Leftist.
The most important thing that we can do right now.
On that's where the original TYT community uploads are. And shout out to Jeff Waldorf for maintaining those uploads. Now, y'all have... When I first made that show with Streaming Chat-Interactive Deliverables, I set the framework for another guy. I've never met this guy as far as I can remember.
Friend of the show, Paris Hilton. Let's take a look at what she had to say.
I jumped in.
I know, I heard. I'm so happy I taught you what they were.
You did. You taught me what's up, and then I bought an ape.
Is this a gem?
I got an ape too, because I saw you on the show with people, and you said you got a MoonPay, so I went and I copied you and did the same thing.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
This is disgusting. This is disgusting. These apes are straight up trying to fucking milk their audience, dude. That's it. There's nothing. This is an ad. This is a hashtag ad. And the hashtag ad is basically saying, hey, give me your money, dumbass. Give me your fucking money, you stupid fuck. That's what this hashtag ad is. I hate it. I hate it. I hate cryptocurrency so much. I hope all these rich people lose all their money. I'm sorry. I hate crypto. I fucking hate the NFT shit. I hate the apes. There's such transparent fucking Ponzi schemes. I hate it so much. I'm going to end up watching that.
I can't stand it. I can't do it anymore. Okay, my computer is getting a little hot because it's an old boy, so I had to turn on the super fan. I did grab a pad for the microphone, so ideally it's not coming through the stream. Like I said, I'd need some equipment sponsorship before actually going to Streamer University, because this is an older phone. I have an older computer. It's fine for the work that I need to do, which is mainly spreadsheets right now. But to keep up with you youngins, I'm gonna need an upgrade. Shit, I don't like calling y'all youngins. I feel young myself. I think 36 is a life of opportunity ahead. Like I'm not. I see nothing as mailed out. So that's really where I'm at. Okay, so this is the first bear that was sold on the public notary that records simultaneous transactions in blocks and keeps those blocks in a chain. So here's what I'm talking about. Block 12,128,101, which is the block that first recorded our first bear that was ever sold. That block was registered to the public notary, which we're all looking at right now. I'll put this in chat. On March 28th, 2021 at 7:16 in the morning. That makes it a precedent in published behavior and in market behavior to these guys, which dropped a month later on April 22nd, 2021. Okay, and y'all know these guys. These are publishing titles. Let me be absolutely clear. These are publishing titles. They title what's published within them as property, and they title what can be further expressed as property. I'm actually wearing one on my chest, but these are both publishing titles. Here, this was purchased for specific expression into a musical, into a catalog, and into the lore of the shared property. And it's the 9th piece of that shared property out of 5,777. So the best way to think about that is, actually, a visual metaphor for everybody. Best way to think about that is as a puzzle. Incidentally, it is Grateful Dead. I want to be clear in that Musical Bears is not inspired by Grateful Dead, but it is a funny coincidence. And I did go to UC Santa Cruz. So I applied to Streaming University, and I also publish intellectual property using unit-by-unit modular publishing on the public notary, and that is the precedent. So this is a puzzle of 5,777 pieces. Each piece fits the puzzle in a specific way to create the outcome together. But because we do it on a public notary, we know exactly who's doing what in that specific build. So in a Lego kit, let's say we get 4,000 people, because a lot of people are going to do more than one. But let's say we get 4,000 people putting these bears together. Okay, so now on the public notary, everybody has on the back of each puzzle piece, you're looking at it, the owner, how the piece was formed, who the creator was that formed it. In this case, we use a third party. This is back in the day when the regulatory when there's still a lot of fog. There still is a lot of fog around regulation, but it's opened up a lot more in terms of how people can build and all this. And by now, the regulators and the feds know that I'm vanilla. I'm mashed potatoes when it comes to this stuff. I'm not trying to do nothing out of pocket. So anyway, precedent, published precedent, antecedent. Now, you guys know that I laid the framework at TYT Community before Hassan was ever there. And you know he slaughtered the entirety of blockchain. NFT means publishing title. NFT is non-fungible token. Hypertext markup language is HTML. So HTML builds a website the same way non-fungible tokens build publishing titles. Does that make sense? It's a technical standard that applies to like how we create something on the internet. So when Hassan says he hates NFTs and he hates encrypted publishing and encrypted notarization, and he points to an antecedent publication, he's literally trying to create a narrative that turns you guys away from the truth of understanding that blockchain is simply a publishing tool and we can use it to build our ideas together as Lego kits. So we do that in our brand. We do that in Let Me Out Productions. My client at Pan-African United Community Advocacy. That's where the Steez is. In fact, I can link the shirt if you guys want to look at the shirt. No, I'll link just to the store. Store.paca.org is the link. Okay. Well, that didn't link. Did that go? Let's take a look at stored up. Paca.org. This is the piece I'm wearing, a $32 shirt. I'm wearing the Deep Royal cut, the Yonkers Highness colorway at Paca. So you have the Yonkers Highness 1939 logo, and then their colorway is represented in the Paca. So it's co-branded, co-published, etc. Now this shirt obviously makes a net profit. Every single creator knows about, or if you know about lining your ducks in a row. That means you have a catalog, and your catalog is offering merchandise and trinkets and other things. Each item in the catalog has net profit, otherwise you wouldn't be offering that item. Here we co-publish the item, meaning that somebody buys title to create in the catalog, usually a few items, but in this case, this title specifically, number 29, has title to create 4 items in the catalog. The classic crew neck t-shirt was one of the choices. We have some print joggers, a full zip hoodie, and a die cut sticker, which is on the back of the monitor that I'm using right now. Dang it. I would love to show you all that. Wait, do I have one? Oh, I do. I have an extra sticker. Is it the same Yonkers? No, this is number 2. But anyway, die cut sticker. These are gigantic. And they're supposedly all weather. I haven't put this on my, well, I haven't gotten a car I want to put a bumper sticker on yet, but I will. This one is for the car that I want to put a bumper sticker on. The one that I have, I'm going to get rid of in a moment, as soon as y'all value my work. And that's the ideal. I'm honestly, my side of this has only been supported by a few people. Obviously, Hassan wasn't one of them. And I don't know him. I've never met him, as far as I can remember. I'm sure. Oh my God, Elon, I don't want to pay you money. Okay, so when I reached out to him and I told him that we were the precedent and that the blockchain was simply a publishing tool, we're doing it to do pocket socialism. This is a brand, well, this is a musical, but it's an intellectual property. And that property has now been fractionalized and shared with everybody who's publishing that property. So it's shared ownership in the market vessel. And it's the precedent, March 28th, 2021. It's a public notary, decentralized consensus that maintains this information so they can't delete it. I think the worst thing that OpenSea could do, since they have the creator contract, is they could go in and mess with the reference file where this image is kept. But that said, the reference file is also, this whole stamp now is also on the Wayback Machine a few times, so there's no point in messing with the original filings. We have this one. We have one of the pieces in the brand, and we have another, number 5 and number 7 in the brand that both went on the 31st. Anyway, point is, we're a 3-week precedent to Bored Ape Yacht Club as a publishing behavior, and that needs to be treated with the equal newsworthy information, or you're forming conspiracy to limit competition to people that were gambling on plots of publishing as though it was real estate, which is exactly what Hassan did. But anyway, I don't want to focus this thing on Hassan Piker. I just want to point out the fact that TYT community is the framework for what he does as a career, and in order to keep that information buried, he decided to lie and present this as the precedent in collective publishing on the blockchain, when in fact it's not. It should be, hey, a TYT alumni, Kimani Okearah, formed the precedent in collective publishing on the blockchain. Hey, here's how it's supposed to work. You do deliberate outcomes. You don't buy title to gamble on them and sell them at a markup. You buy title to do the specific outcomes that the title comes with to do, to publish the specific results that the title comes with to publish. And if you don't like the arrangement, you don't like the breakdown in any way, shape, or form, you don't like the way the property is built or the structure of what we're doing together, then you don't have to buy title and build that thing. But that is how it's supposed to work. But for that guy to sit up there and misuse Streaming Chat-Interactive Deliverables, one of my frameworks, to then slaughter the other one with obfuscation, and this is a form of fraud. Anyway, that's not what this stream was about. So I'm the main thing is I'm a behavioral scientist more so than a media producer. So my interest in producing media and having that main character energy to maintain an audience and all that, it's never interested me, to be honest. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing or that any of y'all out there that have been successful at that, you should feel bad about yourself. That's just not where my personal interest has been. Otherwise, you would have seen me. I could have went home and continued to do the TYT community thing under my own brand, or I've been in places of high visibility my entire media career. The most main character thing I tried to do with it was the Lens Face show, and that was mailing it in. It's I'm a character. I'm not really myself. I'm performing a self-absorbed photojournalist that's treating the bad basketball landscape as a canvas for the presentations of and my entire art. So yeah. We have Lens Face, and there are 118 episodes of this over 5 years out, and there's a whole season that I haven't edited together, which was the COVID season, everything that happened up to the moment the season was shut down for COVID. I tried to do another season after that, didn't go well, so I retired after that following season. But I retired specifically from media, like being hired for news organizations. I will still work for players. I'll work for teams. I'll work for like Nike and Adidas and Reebok. I'll work for the league itself. I do want to be clear in that I want to build my photography brand and my storytelling brand as Okearah, and therefore I need to own my shots as my published property. I have no issue sharing the raws or sharing commercial rights. I'm always at 35% as the producer of the work. But yeah, I am. That's one of my goals in Streamer University is to help build the Okearah brand of photography and storytelling, because my family needs to eat. We didn't get to eat off this, and a bunch of people died. And so when people are out there lying and creating narratives and selling sanctimony, which is the illusion of moral and social superiority against my work, by not bringing up and pretending there is no contrast and everything is this, and there is no possibility in any other thing. Anyway, this guy is a liar. He's a clown. I don't like him at all. I think he's a waste of time. Okay, so cognitive linguistics is the study of the perception, creation, and delivery of meaning and value. So those are pretty much two linguistic outputs. I'm trying to be reductive here. I'm trying to be as reductive as possible. Two linguistic outputs, or two linguistic shapings, or as frames, as we'll call them. Shout out to George Lakoff at UC Berkeley, the mastermind. Meaning and value, perception, creation, and delivery as human tool usage and human behavior. So language itself is both a natural behavior. We're able to do it. Every animal has language of some kind. Theoretically, every life form has language of some kind, some way that it behaves in order to communicate meaning and value to another version of itself. So we study that. We study that in all forms. I have specific micro things that I study. Micro things, theses. Oh, that's funny. Micro things. I'm on my second cup of coffee. I'm not that tired, but shit. Okay. Here's my theses that I study in cognitive linguistics, okay? And I'd be happy to talk about them as part of Streaming University and my journey over there. Shout out to University of Aberdeen in Scotland. If everything goes well, then I'll be finishing my PhD. My goal is to get a PhD in cognitive linguistics, so y'all will listen to me. And I have full confidence that my work is sound and has specific results that will help everybody, especially in the coming days of AI takeover. But yeah, you guys don't listen to people unless they prove their credentials over and over and over again, especially with a visual appearance like mine. So I'm red and black like the Falcons. I'm Afro-Indigenous, so I'm happy to go by black, but also I'd never want to deny my native blood. And I also never want to deny my African blood. You feel me? So it's like one of those things where I really like the term Afro-Indigenous because I don't have to deny either pocket of ancestry. And I think on my biological dad's side, because I came up in foster, on my biological dad's side, they're that Creole, they're coming from Louisiana. So there's probably a Pierre back there is what we say. Okay, so maybe a great-granddad or a great-great-granddad that's a Frenchman. So I'm part frog, y'all. I'm one of y'all. Look at that. I get called white enough, so who cares? I don't give a shit. Okay. Sanctimony, self-righteous prescriptivism. Sanctimony, that's the illusion of moral or social superiority. In America, especially where we transact in hierarchy, this is a huge problem. But it's a neurochemical addiction. So the brain state that's formed when you feel better, feel socially superior to another person, that brain state is formed by dopamine, epinephrine, and serotonin cycling through your neural pathways. It's a DSE cycle, dopamine, serotonin, epinephrine, and that rewards moral superiority, drives social exclusion, and anchors violence and bias in language. We can see it actively right now in the NBA Finals, where, God bless their hearts, those New York fans are so starved for something. You know what I mean? They really, like, it's the Knicks in New York. Like, it's always been the Knicks in New York. And now they get a chance to win their championship, and with the sports team wins comes the sanctimony of enjoying the sports team win. You didn't do anything to help the win, presumably. I'm not taking away from fan energy. It's a huge part of the culture and of the win. But you know, you're not out there. You're not Jalen Brunson, is what I'm saying. You're not Jeremy Sochin. You're not this, that, or the other thing. So yeah. That's my first thesis. Sanctimony is an addictive communication behavior because it's a brain state that you are communicating to seek. You're communicating to seek leverage over another human being and form that social hierarchy right there and there. And so you get to enjoy a sense of or the illusion of social or moral superiority because you're creating a perception that they have to participate in. Yeah, and a lot of that does come from my family background. So the second thesis is publishing property as a puzzle establishes an equitable language of labor value. Let's go back to the Grateful Dead puzzle here. I'll eventually do this. That could be my thing. I could just do puzzles on stream, yeah. And then we could like help people help them out in chat, and I'll write people's initials on the back, and we'll actually do it on blockchain as well. And that'll give you guys a great example of what we're actually doing and how publishing on the public notary actually works. So traditional property fragments labor, fixed cap impact puzzles, which means you use notaries, the NFTs as publishing titles. This creates modular merit measured co-ownership and creates a fair linguistic structure for value creation and distribution. That's what we're doing in the brand of Let Me Up Productions. I don't want to shill. That's not what it's about. Okay, the third thesis is I don't want to talk about number 3. Yeah, I'll do it briefly. But that one's the most liable to be stolen. The other 2 I'm already known for. Okay, communication triggers hormonal cascades that shift perceivable reality in escalating stages. We have rapids and pivots and governances. So I'm trying to categorize the way, like, behavioral shifts based on brain state, and how we try to program each other into these shifts. So a rapid is a brief spike, seconds to minutes, like an adrenaline rush, etc. The best way to think of a rapid is, by the way, I used to call them fleets until I found out what fleets were, because I'm gray asexual, and so which just means I find sex and attraction annoying. I just like sometimes I'm there, but it's just like the whole thing is just so annoying to me. And I'm like, I don't have a girlfriend, I don't have any kids. Maybe one day, but I don't know if it'll ever not be just like annoying to feel attracted and to feel in that space. I could be doing work. I could be doing this, and my time is best served doing this. So that's called gray asexuality. It works sometimes, but when it does work, I'm a straight guy. You know what I mean? Like I don't. God bless all y'all. It's all population control anyway, but yeah. I'm only into the ladies. Okay, enough about that. Rapids. Somebody cuts you off when you're driving on the highway, you get super angry, but then your favorite song comes on 5 minutes later. You had an adrenaline spike, or an epinephrine spike, but then your brain state changed rapidly. You're mad, and then your brain state reverted to a whole different place a couple minutes later because your favorite song came on the radio and now you're singing along. So that's a really good way to describe a rapid, and you can think about, like, toddlers go through this all the time. So they're great little like examples of this stuff. I have so many nieces, 6 nieces, I think, 6 sisters and 6 nieces, and I have 2 nephews. So they're all too young to learn this stuff, so it's hard to connect. But it's okay. They're getting older. They'll have time with and for Uncle Kimani and graduate level cognitive linguistics. Okay, then there's pivots. These are sustained shifts, where your mood is your brain state. I won't say mood, I'll say brain state, because the brain states can be very subtly, like the shifts in brain state can be so subtle. But these are sustained shifts that last hours, if not days. They can compound. So a pivot is generally a harder shift in mood and behavior, or in brain state. Again, hours, days, and they can compound, but it's not your default space. And a governance is a semi-permanent rewiring that does replace your default state. And if it's a negative rewiring, it often needs external healing. So we have rapids, pivots is my precious. Rapids, pivots, and governances. And this is what I want to stream about. I want to stream the like, as my research builds, this is what I want to stream about. I have stuff to communicate with y'all. This is going to take years and years and years and years to prove correctly. Like, we have to do EEG testing for thesis number 1 here. We're in the process of thesis number 2, and that thoroughly got disrupted by Hassan the Clown lying about who the precedent is in that thesis. It's a publishing tool. It's an encrypted publishing tool, okay? That's what blockchain is. It records what we publish in blocks and then in chains. That's what it is. It's actually boring. It's boring stuff. And then the consensus of what is registered is maintained by, like, a decentralized network of devices like phones and computers. And they're not running in garages and stacks. This is Ethereum. It's just my phone. If I had money and I could participate in a stamping node, my phone would be providing consensus to maintain the record as well. But I don't have money to do that because y'all don't buy these. And I won't have money to do that for a while because I need to build up my own pool of resources. I have a whole family that's relying on me turning my assets into food to eat. Here's one that's 14 grand. Okay, this is a life-changing piece for me because I haven't had 13.7. I haven't had this spending power since 2 years ago, and that got me the car that I drive today. And but we weren't able to launch the project off of it, or the projects off of it. What am I looking at? Chat. We're gonna put this in chat too. So by title, hang this up on the wall. Or even better, buy this and then send it to Boogie because he would appreciate it. And then they can hang this up on their podcast wall. That's the official NBA podcast. Look at this. Look at this. We just did. I don't want. There's Kobe. Yeah. Bryant. Perfect form. Kobe. Spalding could get this. Spalding, y'all can afford a 14 grand shot and help me out. I love Spalding. They love me. Right, Spalding? Yeah? Okay. All right, back to the itinerary. This is why I don't stream. I don't like having the main character energy. I don't like that. Oh, I gotta be a character. I gotta be entertaining. I was never good at that. Even during Lens Face, I know I'm not good at that, but that's why that works, in my opinion. I guess we could play it. Walking around downtown Sacramento, on my way to the Sacramento Kings Media Day, checking out the new office. Oh my gosh, I love this look though. This is a terrific look for this character. I'm here with the Cowbell Kingdom team. We're so happy that they built this whole building for me to take photos in. Absolutely. It's fantastic. See that photographer's technique? Modeling the players, making sure that the moment is right. Matt Barnes, don't be nervous. You can verify that I've had rough times over in the gutters of Sacramento Press. Luke Chang in with the technique. Oh man, I love Matt Barnes. Shout out Matt Barnes. He's doing an interview right now and he's not paying me any attention. And Rudy's just getting ready on my set. Make sure you pose correctly, Rudy. Shout out Rudy Gaze.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
I'm a reggae redneck. They call me a regneck.
Oh, and actually...
So I'm going to be taking pictures of you this season too, and everybody just in the building. This whole building's my office.
Tell me say one thing, Nancy can't understand. One thing, Nancy can't understand.
I don't want to get copyright struck, so I got to skip that part. Excited for me to take your photo this season, DeMarcus?
What?
Excited for me specifically to take your photo this season?
Am I excited?
Yeah. See, Brian. Y'all don't know. I trolled Boogie so much. He always knew what was going on, but it was. Well, no, not all the time, because one time he had tried to have me removed from the Pelicans locker room after he got traded, and I was like, but that's because he thought I was with the Cowbell Kingdom team still, and I'm like, dude, I hadn't been with them in like 3 years. What are you talking about? Even during when I was doing this, I wasn't with the Cowbell Kingdom team. I just put him on the show. I didn't put him on like that. Sorry, Leo. I was like, you didn't put me on. What are you talking about? I know. Shit. Oh man. You still making bank off that logo I made you though, huh? Come on now. Where's my royalties on that logo? The Cowbell Kingdom logo. Polygoned out at the Golden One Center. Anyway, y'all can watch this. Watch the whole playlist. Just stream it. This is good. Like, this is good hidden stuff. Like, look, y'all, there's 118 episodes. So if you guys do a thing where everybody binge watches Kimani's lens phase garbage, that would really help. That would really help. I was thinking while I'm bared out here, I guess I could unbear myself. Yeah, what's up? That's Mr. Bear Sidophilus, by the way. He ripped the tires off a bus. I'm Mr. Bear Sidophilus. Yeah. They're cute. They're all cute. Every kid that sees them, they're like, Minecraft, but I don't know what it is. I'm like, well, I've never played Minecraft in my life, so I don't know. I was not thinking Minecraft. It is funny that the first one that sold is Craft Mine Bear, though. So anyway. Okay, yeah, the block is the amount of transactions that happen at the same exact time. While we're here, and the chain is the record in order. So 102 comes after 101. It was actually, I think, 8 milliseconds after. And even back then, there's a lot of users on this network. So, I mean, we have, if every 8 milliseconds you have a block that's filing 200 transactions, that's quite a lot of users on the network, y'all. That's, ooh, my shoulders just shivered, actually, because that's a lot of people using a publishing network. And what we're publishing is property, ownership and development, and we're publishing financial value, authenticity. That part's not going so well. But I'm personally like not too deep in on the cryptocurrency side of it. Because it's gambling, I just don't gamble. I want people to publish results and have the results work for them in the market long term and earn compound value. And I include everybody's labor that they're contributing to a brand as a result that can be accounted for with publishing title. And I know that's scory to carpet. That's what I almost said, but then I did say it. So okay, it's scary to corporate, but they're starting to come around. Let's get back to itinerary. Let me. Let's. May could have been a photojournalist, but he chose to be a sportscaster instead.
Ron May shoots more than you realize.
Dang it, he's got me beat.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do it again.
In that same line of answer.
Okay. I actually try to do this with all of the players that the press would go after. I try to build a somewhat, I don't like to be up in people's lives, right? Like, I couldn't tell you the name of this kid, unfortunately. Sorry, DeMarcus. We don't know each other like that. But to be fair, I also don't know the name of Leo's kid, I don't know the name of Blake's kid, and I don't know the name of James' 2 kids. I do know he has 2 sons. I know Willie just had a daughter. But my other friend from Kansas City also just had a daughter. And that's going to get confusing to the end of my days because they already look alike. Shout out J.O. Anyway, so Boogie got a bad rap, as you all can see, because he's a media personality now. And everybody that knows him knows that he's a big goofball and he's funny. He's just got sarcasm, like a lot of sarcasm, a lot of dry wit. And so in Sacramento, I was just explaining earlier this. Thesis number 1, sanctimony is an addictive communication behavior. I saw that in the Sacramento press. They cannibalized DeMarcus Cousins' career for this. It was and he'll tell you himself. I don't even want to handle that part of the, like, I'm just here to corroborate what he's saying within his own experience, and maybe to temper some of it, because there's certain issues in certain instances where he created windows for that leverage to be sought. But anyway, everybody can stream. I would love if NBA players took a look at this, because there's a couple, you know, like I know Paul George. You got episode 88 here. You got the repeating eights.
Bienvenidos al Lens Face. It's the Kings versus Oklahoma City Thunder.
I'm actually groomed up. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, wow. Ooh, groomed Kimani.
Sacramento, thanks for joining me. I'm having a great time tonight. Looks like a packed house. It's blue on blue again. A disaster for my camera sensor. Thank you, NBA uniform schemer. I love you. You're my favorite person. Putting blue on blue like that. That's amazing.
This game didn't go well. You can actually tell in the texture of the photo.
43. Uh-oh, bad pass there.
It's fine on broadcast.
Turnover.
But the baby blue on the dark blue, and then you have the baby blue in the paint. It's just, you can't, it's so rough on like a camera. You're asking a lot.
Number 7. And here's a 3. And again, you said
Astro World is still up in the hallways. I didn't see the Travis Scott show. Was it any good? He said Sacramento kicked off the West Coast in a heavy way. So, but I mean, doesn't Sacramento always do that? Come on, Travis. You new here?
Helpful as we see a steal right there. De'Aaron Fox in the open court. Nice pass. And the Kings get 4.
I'm just not giving De'Aaron a hard time. I'm sick of it, man. That's my dude. Okay, he's like, again, I don't want to be parasocial on these guys, because I just know them through work, and they just know me through work. But there is a relationship when you meet somebody when they're 19 years old and they're just getting their career started in professional basketball, where you know what it is. Like, you know that it's a cannibal game out here, especially when it comes to the media. And in the bad team of Sacramento, they need to sell something to the fans. They need a reason for somebody to click on a story. So a lot of the time that reason will be found, regardless of truth. Okay? And if they sell you this, if they can sell this to fans, they can keep the attention coming. And that's a big problem with the basketball in Sacramento. Everybody knows it. I'm not saying anything new. Everybody knows it. Every college coach knows it. Every agent knows it. They do not want their players in Sacramento. There's a reason AJ DeBonso is like, if Sacramento gets number 1 pick, there's no way. And really, if you're the NBA, I don't believe the lottery is rigged or anything like that. But if you're the NBA, you're like, yeah, there's no, absolutely no shot the Kings are getting the number 1 pick with the way that franchise is run. And I have insider baseball on that I can talk to you all about on Streamer University. Yeah, look at that. I know I got to plant seeds to it. Yeah, so we can get into the basketball drama. I did a hair under 10 years, which is longer than most players. That's what I'm saying. What was I forgot the podcast. I watch a lot of the player podcasts. It's the generation I grew up watching, and now they're all having their podcasts. One, I'd like to be a paid guest. Not too heavy. You don't have to pay me a couple hundred bucks. My bills, guys, I'm so marginal. I'm floating the gutter right now. I have a client who, by her good graces, I'm still around, and she's keeping things going. But that's why I would really like for y'all to support the catalog that she's got going. This is her puzzle expression. So everybody here is a co-publisher, and they all are publishing results into the catalog. They have title to publish these results, and they've expressed their piece. And now their piece is earning them 50% net profit per unit. And each piece in the Pocket catalog is limited edition, 10,000 units. So this guy's making, it's a $100 hoodie. That's out of stock. All right, it's all out of stock. Okay. Well, whatever. You'd be making like $25 a hoodie off 10,000 editions. Sapphire Co-Publishing. Okay. Now, in the concept of the markets, there's something called a bear market, which is I've always thought was hilarious language. It just means like it's low opportunity, low investment. Prices, commerce, everything like the flow of commerce slows down by 20% or more from the previous state or from what's expected or from what's normal. So that's called a bear market. And so my take on the bear market is to publish results. The results have potential. The results create supply. Supply creates demand. Supply and demand creates commerce. So publish results. So sing on a bear. That's publish results. And when you publish your results, you line your ducks up. That means you're creating all these economic positions with potential. Now I've been doing this a long time. I used to do this for Smosh, not this side of the product for Smosh, and not this side of the product for The Bachelor when I was part of the Bachelor's 2-week episode shoot. But I've been this part of the product for companies you've never heard of. Let's see if I can find one on my Facebook real quick. Like, it's not glamorous stuff, but like I've done multi-million-dollar catalogs, y'all. Now, that's all true. That took me for a loop there. Because I wanted to go to my photos, and it'd be down a little bit here. My Facebook is mainly me complaining that nobody's co-publishing the way that I want. Because everybody thinks that blockchain is just Bored Ape stuff. They think it's gambling. So I used to do, I worked for a company called it was called John F. Mahaney Company, but they had a brand called Red Rooster that they published. And they did a quarterly catalog and an annual catalog that I had to do the design work and the spreadsheets for. So I had to have this isn't glamorous work, but I had to be across from a spreadsheet that had the professional vine and light tree loppers, the cost, the net profit that John F. Mahaney was going to make, and then how many that were pre-made, how many that we had to, or how many we had the parts for, and how many that we needed to place on order. So you had all sorts of shoved ducks, is what I called them, because these were ducks that were lined in a row across from the catalog, and ducks you shove. So when you shove the duck up, that means you're creating an economic position across from your vine and light tree lopper. Okay, now in our case, we're selling title. Red Rooster not this specific company. This is obviously 12 years ago, 2014. But if you apply co-publishing on the blockchain, somebody can buy a publishing title out of a fixed cap puzzle of measurement that's building a catalog like this. And now vine and light tree loppers can have a colorway. They can have 20 different colorways that are published by individuals from the community. And instead of getting the red handle, I can get the community design handle. And now I pay a slight markup. The entire unit net profit will be split between the Red Rooster brand and the co-publisher that created the edition. What will happen is you'll have collector's items in almost every catalog in the economy, which is amazing. Community published collector's items. And all of these positions could share net profit with the collaborator. They don't need to be red handles. They could, they could have the logo, but they on black or white or whatever on the blade. But the handles can be co-published. I can make community design, and I'll buy title to do that. Especially if now there's going to be 10,000 tree loppers with my handle design on it, and I've spent $50 on the title. Hell yeah! Even if not one of them sells, if there's 10,000 of them, and I'm making $5 a lopper, the phonetics of what I'm saying are so fun. I can't stream. This is too goofy. So if I'm making $5 a lopper off 10,000 loppers, the shoved duck is amazing. That's incredible potential. Sign me up. I'll buy title to do that right now. If I had $50, I don't have $50. I need y'all to co-publish the economy, and part of co-publishing is co-publishing the visibility, the thing that shapes the mind. And I've never been out in front, but that's okay. Let me close that channel. These things aren't that. This playoff P episode is 5 views. You guys could do a streaming challenge and watch 118 episodes of Lensface. If this thing pops off and you guys start buying my shots, I'll put out the last season of Lensface that I did pre-COVID. It's a little bit like a time machine at this point, which is part of the point. Now, I was role-playing a character that was an influencer influencer, and I was making content as bad as the team I covered. That was the joke. That turned into Press Pass, which is a sports mockumentary that we're co-publishing by sitting down and playing Dungeons and Dragons-ish. It's not Dungeons and Dragons at all, so shout out to Wizards of the Coast. We're a completely different game, but just to sort of bring the experience to people's minds. People sit at a table with their character, they pretend to be a character, and they publish lore into the united world of Press Pass. There's ages 11 and up set of rules. Like we got trending. These are always so. I know Adair's hilarious because I specifically have a really funny line in there. I just rewrote Nagushin Nudikit, so maybe she's trending. I haven't seen Charlie Fisher in a while, and then Kensa Gumbo is. Let's look at these prepackaged characters available to purchase and publish. Adair Merlin Jones, born on March 7th, 1916, in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, Canada, had an unconventional journey into the world of basketball. Adair was inspired to play basketball because he loved dancing, and he thought the sport was a dancing sport. The rhythm and movement he observed in basketball piqued his curiosity. As a child with two dancing sisters, Patricia and Matilda, he would mimic their grace, incorporating their elegance into his own style of play on the court. Patty, Matty, and Adair shared a weird pair of parents. Their father, Jim, was a gold miner, and their annoying mother, Francesca, was a traveling funambulist. Both were renowned for daring acrobatics. Jim, with two M's, on a swaying minecart, and Franny in her swaying fine art. They passed on their love for dirt, gold, and entertainment, and the performing arts to Adair, nursing his passion for dancing. Jim and Francesca Jones initially hoped Adair would follow his dad's footsteps as a prospector. I made a typo. That's how you know I wrote it. Damn it. Jim and Francesca Jones initially hoped Adair would follow in his dad's footsteps as a prospector, but the son's fascination with basketball eventually won them over. Adair desired to showcase this unique blend of dance and athleticism, combining the grace of a ballerina with the power of a basketball player. He sought to captivate audiences with his on-court performances, delivering a visual spectacle that transcended the boundaries of the game. Adair's proudest moment, so far discovered, came during an acrobat show his mother was featured in. Adair snuck center stage where he performed a self-choreographed routine that seamlessly merged basketball and the dance. As the crowd watched in awe, Adair dazzled them with a series of free-to-pults and three-bouchets. A free-to-pult is a free throw, but it's taken with a two-step running start, which in Press Pass, that's how free throws are always shot. So you can take the steps in any direction in the above the line in the free throw circle, in the free throw half circle, but they do have to be taken. So everybody has to be a goofball doing a running start. But this is interesting because a lot of people try to miss the shot on purpose and get their own rebound. So that's the free to pull, and a three boucher is a three-pointer. Every three-pointer is a three boucher, but if you make it backwards, it's worth 4 points. I think the skyhook also counts as a 4-point three boucher, like a one-handed hook shot, which means one-armed players in the basketball world of Press Pass inherently are like just really incredible assets to have, because every shot they make from beyond the three-point line is inherently worth 4 points. So despite his performative nature, Adair felt a strong connection to his teammates and valued the team atmosphere. I lie. I don't want to do my transatlantic accent anymore. My bad. His unique qualities as a player brought an element of artistry to the team, inspiring his talent. I'm De'Aaron Foxing it. I'm sorry, man. Stop. That's so rude. In his case, it's literally all fun and games. It is his career, but look, if it doesn't go well and they lose to New York, they will probably trade Fox. They'll probably trade him anyway, but I wanted him to end up on the Spurs because I thought he'd get a good run with Wemby, and he got his good run with Wemby. And now they want to scapegoat him and send him out. Part of it is the nonchalantness and being a bad team defender. But I think Brooklyn would be a good spot for him.
if it doesn't work out in San Antonio. Like if this is the writing on the wall, it kind of feels that way regardless of the fact. Although, winning does cure. Winning does cure. We'll see. We will see. I don't count out the Spurs because I've already seen it against OKC where people were counting them out. And they said, oh, they were done. Anyway, y'all read the rest of this, right? I don't like reading things out loud for too long. Let's change the copyright while I'm here. Okay, so part of this actually is, this is interesting because I want to teach people how the public notary works. So a notary means that you have impartial witness to authentic information. So when I'm claiming that we are the one of the first brands ever to publish puzzle structured property on the public notary, that's just a fact. Everybody can look at this. March 31st, 2021. If you go to our website and you just go to the main spot, it says first minted here. First notarized will be the link that you want to click on. That'll take you to it'll take you right to the transaction of the notarization. So I actually paid $40 to notarize this piece because I was transferring it to a prospect, like a financial prospect. Boo, boo, boo that number. Okay, $40 was paid. Shout out to Jordan who actually sent me that money. Sent me a couple $100 so I could start the store at all. And he's part of our advisor and he has equity in LMO, publishing equity in LMO. So shout out. So we have, we're publishing our brand of Let Me Out Productions. We have Musical Bears and Press Pass that we're also publishing. There's a project called Shirley, though, that we're publishing. And there's a publisher guarantor that's a separate brand that's a sort of a sub-house. And that's called the Top Brass DAO. And that's what you guys, that's what co-publishers are publishing. It's a little bit of LMO guidance, but it's more of their own thing. But it does have a specific function. Okay. Yeah, so Streamer University. Lensface never captured an audience, but it's probably better as a time capsule piece anyway. It's much more fun to watch 10 years later, knowing that the team never really got better and it's just full of meme behavior. So that's funny. The solution to what? Oh, let me do that. Yeah, that's a good note. I'm glad that came up on my itinerary. So the way that I'm talking about co-publishing, and let's go, I'll just stick to fandom. I mean, we're just going to look at a fandom organized category here. So each of these is published from a publishing title in Press Pass Season 1. And that title's the what's within it, which is the kind of an example of what you do, like a proof of concept of creating a character, role-playing, lore, and then shooting a clip based on the lore that you've created, and that's now part of the mockumentary archive. Yes, that's genius. You can't steal it. I got it all notarized, and everybody knows it's me, even though, yeah, the industry really wants it to go through this gate or another gate, but it's like, y'all, you have to embrace new opportunities. I don't want to fix these. My teeth are fine. Y'all should embrace the gap tooth. It's beautiful. Okay. So yeah, so the co-published catalog. Each one of these is expressing into the lore and into the archive in their own way as characters. We're going to look at our friends over at Story Protocol. A16Z, I'm their biggest coach. So let's take a look at Turkish voice collection. Why not? So you can see the origin, August 29th, 2025, 11:16 a.m. But let's take a look at the two publishing structures. Okay.
This is our brand of Let Me Out Productions, March 2021. And we have the pieces. And now here, let's take a look. So when we're talking about ownership, this is shared property, number one. So when you're looking at the structure, you're looking at a shared property, number one. Each piece of the property is a publishing title, not an NFT. Okay? It's a publishing title. The title is what's published within it as property. The title is what it can further express. We've been through that. Okay? So shared property, publishing title, and then that makes the person who owns the publishing title a co-publishing owner of the property. Now, they have equity in property that is being built and published together that is then applied as a brand to maybe an entity that's using the brand. And that's how, and that publication can be renewed every year. It's an annual publication. But we're doing our baseline Let Me Out Productions publication first. And then we'll think about doing annual publications in our brand. But I don't even want to, I'm not even there to think about that until we finish this one. And the market won't even do this. They're doing this. Okay. So instead of a shared property, they're doing a data campaign collection, which is still a property, but it's going to be a corporate property. I believe, which was this one? Poseidon. Poseidon is the group that's going to own this data campaign collection, and they're saying as much. They're not fraudulently advertising. They're telling you as much as what they're doing. So instead of these being publishing titles, what do they say? They are data shards. And instead of a co-publishing owner, you see they are contributed by. That means they're not the property of the contributor. They're the property of Poseidon, the corporation that owns this data pool. I think it's 66,000 assets. Another 666. Look at that. The devil chasing me today. Go away, devil. Look, devil. Your reign has come to an end. Your reign has come to an end. If that mythos is true, then your reign's done. Okay, because this is objectively, it's flipping the tables on the gamblers. Because I was here first. You know, and then beyond that, it's fishes and loaves. We took one property, we're turning it into a shared property. Now, I'm not claiming to be the second coming at all. I'm just Kimani. I'm a sinner. I'm a normal dipshit. I'm just a clown. It's not even my mythos. Like I said earlier, I'm Afro-Indigenous. I think the whole big coyote making everybody out of clay is just as feasible as a talking snake. But, you know, you pick your animal origins. It's kind of how it goes here. That's what it's like being a human. You pick which animal is your source of truth, your source of sin. Anyway, fishes and loaves, baby, here it is. I will say that it would be the biggest joke of all time if everything within like the Christian mythos is word for word, explicitly 1-to-1 true, and yeah, I would say that maybe I'd be I know the mythos. I know the mythos. There's heralds and saints, right? There's like certain saints and heralds that are supposed to maybe demonstrate certain things in preparation for, and maybe that's as far as I'm willing to go. Is that maybe I'm like a goofy choice in my purpose for that, but yeah, that's as far as I'm willing to take it. Because other than that, is I just kind of look the part, and I'm not like I personally that's not where I want to go. You know what I mean? I'm so uncomfortable with attention, but I need to put attention on my assets and what I publish so people in my family can eat and so they can have something to do. I'm not trying to belittle them or put them down or anything like that. And you know, some of my family's doing really well for themselves, but I'm just saying, you know, I want to build that thing that makes sure everybody has the last resort, the bite to eat. It's what I've had to live off of for my entire life, because I'll say this before, and if you do accept me in a streamer university,
I will request that I don't have a roommate wherever I am because I've had several surgeries. There's one there, you can't see it because of the hair, one across, and then a couple on the sides. Two over, is this the, no, this, well, this is the side that hurts all the time. I think I only did the one surgery on this side, but maybe that's this big old deposit of scar tissue in there is messing everything up. Anyway, for survival purposes, I have to manually drain that system just to live, and I don't die of sepsis, and I don't have crazy things happen to me. I have to also make sure I'm not in a mold environment or exposed to the really harsh chemicals and like bleach and stuff, because my skin can do these crazy reactions now. I had to live in a horrible place for a while. Anyway, publishing titles. I do publishing frameworks. I did the Streaming Chat-Interactive Deliverables. I'm not claiming credit for chat. I think it's funny as a cognitive linguist that clearly perceives publishing frameworks before the world applies them to things. Maybe that's what I do. That I put together back in TYT community days. This is before, keep in mind, and this is to Kai Cenat specifically, keep in mind, this is before there's any interface for streaming built into any platform. There's no Twitch at all. YouTube doesn't have built-in streaming. You can do your OBS feed into YouTube, but you had to do all of the Chiron.
The most important thing that we can do right now
through broadcast
community,
machine,
in which
I believe we had some sort of Stratocaster that I used in studio, and I fed it the feed from Google Hangouts on the Mac Mini, and then I would do the framing and the chirons layered over. And then I'd have to go back in and edit, and do the clip edits and do the clip outs. I'd go make graphics for each one and try to set a standard. And then when Jeff took it over, bless his heart, his graphics became more lo-fi in effort. But to his credit, look at what he did with the product. 272,000 subscribers, 13 years of build. Good job, Jeff, bro. Good job, Jeff. Because this only has we had probably maybe 10 subscribers when I did the 347 views. Son's birthplace. True. So true. But anyway, my theory on this is for the night media folks. This will be fun. My theory on Hassan either is that for some reason corporations want to own the data collection and have each publishing title be considered a data shard that's contributed by a user. And Hassan is basically a vanguard for that, to create misinformation, get everybody to never do independent community publishing on blockchain because they all just think it's inherently for gambling. And then across from their Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of the accounts, you guys are doing this with every upload, recording us on our phones and doing this. You're farming our data, and now we're contributing data shards to your publications. And I've got to say that you can sniff down your nose at us small folk when it comes to what we publish. But look, let me explain something to you guys, because you're going to lean on something in court to claim everybody's publishing rights that does not work. Okay? I took this picture with a Canon body and a Nikon lens. Canon does have a software that's running in the body. It's a software that allows the camera to work. But just because they're running the software in the body does not allow them to claim that this is their published asset. Canon has zero right to this as far as I'm concerned. They'd have to buy the publishing title to then go express this as something that came from a 550D. And I think that they should do that, because the 550D is an incredible beast of a camera, and I love the whole line. Yeah, Canon, please do that. It's only... Look, I need to get back into my own spot. I'm living off the community right now, and nobody's confident in blockchain or publishing on blockchain because of basically what Hassan Piker did to it. up until he broadcast his misinformation campaign, had an easy time teaching the difference between publishing and gambling on the potential of a publishing title. That was a very easy thing to teach. But after he threw his sanctimonious tantrum against what we're doing, and this is tens of thousands of blockchain publishers, mind you, internationally, this is a global effort, and he slandered all of us by saying the entire thing's a Ponzi scheme based on what one group did with their publication. And let's just describe the group real quick. They're bored apes. So that means they're bored. The ape part means they're degenerate gamblers. I'm not a gambler, so that don't include me into the gambling at any rate at all. I'm anti-gambling in everything I do. So they're bored, degenerate gamblers. I'm not condemning them, by the way. I'm just saying. I don't even know if they meant to set the tone. If it was a government operation, then yeah, they sure did mean to set the tone. I mean, it feels like a government operation. The whole thing feels so designed and narrative. They don't want to hear anything else because the end goal was this. But this is a feedback loop, and it's a market loop because what happens is you're removing the supply and the demand of the published result. On top of which, look, this is, I think this is something this is like a willingness farm. I don't know what to call this. I don't know where you can go and contribute to this Turkish Voice data campaign collection, but I'm just using them as an example for what's actually occurring behind the scenes. When I'm uploading on Instagram, every single post I upload on Instagram is a data shard contributed by my account, which has a blockchain address. It might even be Facebook's own blockchain that we'll never see, because in that case, it wouldn't be a public notary service. It would just be Facebook's internal notarization system. But it wouldn't even be a notarization system, because notarization is impartial witness, but it would be their records system. It'd be Facebook's records. And you're contributing a data shard, and you're already using blockchain. How do you think AI has advanced so quickly over the last 5-6 years? Is this? But instead of being a co-publishing owner of a publishing title in the shared property of the data pool, you are a contributor of a data shard and data campaign collection, and it's largely because Hassan hates NFTs. So he's misusing streaming chat interactive deliverables to throw these giant tantrums and convince people not to even be curious about things. He's done it in the political atmosphere with severe acidic effect. And now he's done it to just regular information. I'm a scientist. This is a publishing behavior. I'm trying to set the precedent that allows all of us ownership and market residuals from the result that's published, which I talked about in the Pocket Catalog. And so, I do have invested interest in getting the narrative right. No shade to Story. There's nothing wrong. When I did this publishing method, I said it was open source. There's actually nothing wrong with this. They didn't... Well, let me say it this way. In an abstract vacuum, if they had never met me, or if they had just read my abstract details and not interacted with me on a deeper level, there'd be nothing wrong with this. I'll put it like that. But because I know that they've interacted with me and they specifically farmed us for years, this is A16Z with a spy bot called Shirley, they farmed our public broadcast for years, and they didn't apply any of the value we were looking for. They could have purchased all 355 of the original publishing titles and helped us get our market going and say, hey, yeah, we'll publish this portion of your brand for you as a result of the data that you've given us to get here. And the structural work, but that hasn't happened because, again, it all goes back to here. Sanctimony is an addictive communication behavior, and now you guys are transacting in hierarchy. Oh, you're not worth the rights that we all have to what you publish. Well, this is what I published, and we were one of the first people to ever do this. We weren't the first people to ever do this. Where's my guys over at the CryptoPunks? This is what I consider to be the first brand published as a garden style structure
on the notary. That's June 2017. Now you see the floor. Look, the last sale that I can see here is 32.5. So that's a huge floor, guys. Like, these things are moving at a huge price. Here's a sale. That's 42.9. Let's look at the USD price. $70,000. And what do you publish with this? It's just aura. It's just, I have this. That's what you publish. And I suppose you could do your merch line. You can do expressions into catalogs and stages with this. But that's what this is. And even beyond that, this is what you have. As you're saying, I'm part of the 2017 group of people that were publishing or are publishing this brand that was on this public notary in 2017, way before it was cool. Here we have that. That's built in. You're publishing out of March 2021. But again, I don't want to shill. That's not what it's about. I want to get into Streamer University. I want to shill. I want to just give example. This is about example. What's going on here? Is it because I'm streaming that you're blocked out? What on earth? Is that why? That's crazy. I've never seen that before in my life. What are we thinking? Is this redacted because... Wild. Maybe it can tell I'm streaming and it's a private document. Alright, good on you, Google. Cool. I have a screenshot of that somewhere. Okay, well, let's talk about red flags, like why you shouldn't put me on Streamer University. I'm old. I'm 36 years old. Like I said earlier, I'm gray asexual, so I'm not gonna be like a thirsty man chasing down anybody. So I wouldn't say anybody has to worry about that at all. I don't I don't have time for bullshit. So there's like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't have time for bullshit. So there's that. You guys want to see something I was in at Smosh? Is that on deck? I need to shop some clout. Oh, shout out to the wiki editor over here. Look at you. I love this wiki editor because and I think I did more episodes than even this, but I had to remove my name from some credits. Sorry. Wait, is this the one? Is this the one? Is this...
Okay, now Mommy and Daddy have to check to see if these are safe to eat.
Oh no, it looks like this one has a tear in the wrapper.
Oh, I heard these stunt your growth.
Ooh, this one will poke an eye out.
Lice.
Asbestos.
Poison.
You'll never learn how to love.
I've been trick-or-treating since yesterday.
Our son is so friggin' gullible.
We're so much smarter than him.
Right?
Ah! Every Halloween ever.
Oh my god, Karen, I love your costume. What are you?
A slutty nurse. What are you?
A slutty bee. What are you, Shelby? Gandalf?
Brittany! Shout out Brittany Barger! I love Brittany. She's great. She's an epic performer who should be hired and elevated to do epic things with SAG.
Slutty Gandalf! Yeah!
Every Halloween ever.
Yeah! I love Halloween!
Joke's on you. I love eggs. Go. I love Halloween.
Pumpkins.
Am I in this at all? I'm looking for what I'm in. I'm shopping clout. Oh. Am I in the caroling scene? God, no. Where's my clout? Anthony, I need some clout. Shop my clout. Call Kai and be like, yo, Kimani is a huge dick. Don't bring him on the streamer university. He gonna fuck your shit up. He has zero personality. Wait, Joe got a direction credit on this? Was he even there? What are we talking about? No, it's because, like, I know one of them that I was in was super problematic. I'm like, you guys got to take my name off that. And the reason I do a little bit of name cultivation despite my performance art and lo-fi, everything. Shout out to Aaron. Is that a waffle cookie? I will scroll your photos later. I'm pretty sure your account is private. And you and your kids are in Europe having a good time. Rambo Road Bear. That's not his name. It's Road Thrill Bear. I am an ally, so happy Pride. But yeah, the bear isn't Pride themed necessarily, but I'm sure if we put it on a shirt and people enjoy the concept of the bear being a pothole on Rainbow Road, it could go quickly. But that's up to Tarig, who's out there and maybe watching the stream, Tarig. So you need to both sing on a bear and launch your merch. He has 4 bears. He has launched 0 merch lines in the catalog. What am I looking for? Where's my granduncle? I didn't want to bring this up early. I wanted y'all to stay committed to the stream and so we could get here. I got to shop clout a little bit. Clout's part of the name of the game these days, so we want to have people who will respond in the comments. I'm one. There he is. Rest in power. Okay. James Earl Jones. For a while, I debated whether it was appropriate to honor my biological grandmother, Barbara's elder cousin, as part of my family's recently departed with respect to his status of fame and the fact I was never blessed to meet him. His father, Robert Earl Jones, helped hold my grandmother's childhood together. As a point of reverence, Barbara named her oldest son after him, a legend in our family, Robert Earl Jackson. James and his father before him helped pave the streets of the entertainment craft that we all enjoy today. James' impact will always be his property. That's what we call this. When you publish impact into something and you own that title and that's specific and unique to the impact that you've published, that's now your property and it's tangible. It's there. It's titled as your property the same way that your car is titled as your property. You can prove ownership to that impact in the result. He doesn't need to do that because he's had such a powerful impact on the entire industry. Everybody can point to his, everybody knows what we're talking about when it comes to James Earl Jones. And that's the beauty of it. I'm a grand nephew. I'm one of 70 plus grandnieces and grandnephews. I'm no nepo and none of that. Okay, I might have a little bit of the brow line, but that's a native brow line. They're Cherokee and Choctaw, I believe, more so on their line. And then we are Kaw Nation, K-A-W Nation. So James' impact will always be his property, and his work and role in the craft are fundamental to my work behind the Impact Puzzle publishing method. It's an innovative way to build intellectual property together. Thank you for anchoring our experiences in so many stories, and thank you for everything you've done for our cousins and family. You'll forever mean so much to so many. To my friends and colleagues, this hasn't come up in my career or life until recent times, and beyond that, being related to someone else, doesn't make any person more important than anybody else. That's why I said that earlier. That said, all the agents I talk to say the same thing. Let it mean what it needs to mean to the folks who need it to mean something and be grateful. Ask yourselves this. Does Star Wars work without his published impact? You are beaten. It is useless to resist. Don't let yourself be destroyed as Obi-Wan did. I can get somewhere in the same formant range, but there's like, it's so conditional. My cousin Flynn, that's James' son, I believe he can get. I've listened to his audiobooks, and he got the boom too. So, hey, you can call. Hey, I'll tell you like this: if you have anything for me in your big showbiz, and you email it to Barry, he will make sure that I know. I'm sure about that, and I'm sure IAG will be taking their sweet cut. And they're fine too, because they've done a lot of work in protecting this. They've done a lot of work, and that has never been. No, they haven't asked for a dime in doing the work that needed to be done to protect this. And it hasn't been protected in all the ways it could have been throughout the time, but that's neither here nor there, because it was protected from a lot of slop. And I consider this part of the slop. It's even so interesting to me that. Look, even down here, like, you can see these little globs that are in the JPEG. This makes now what's published within a unique, artistically unique asset. Just this piece here. Okay, so then you go back. So that's the same one. This one doesn't have one, and I don't know what that means. It probably means something in their esoteric thing. But this one's got a gold one. You see that? That makes the asset artistically unique from the next asset, which technically means that they're selling art if they sell this. Or they can claim it's a different kind of, it's in a certain asset class. I just think that's such an interesting thing to do the exact same unique modular unit publishing method, but call it completely different things. Shout out to Mark and Ben. You guys are sweethearts. Surely, though. Shout out to Cy Lee. I set my conditions. We can clean all this up real easy and quick like. Y'all want to sleep on the people that make the tool catalogs. That's funny, man. Yeah, because where I learned this stuff was never in the glamorous big things. It's Red Rooster. Shout out to Jim. He was the manager over there. He's a great guy. I hope he's still around in Sacramento, because if Press Pass gets going real quickly, I need somebody like him to do the things he was doing for Mahaney. I'm sure he's not fully retired yet, but maybe he is. But yeah, Jim came to visit me in the hospital during my last surgery, so I have a special spot in my heart for Jim. I also want to give a shout out to certain members of my family, because I really, this should be part of the reason why this isn't a household behavior, is because nobody showed up for it. They saw what Board 8s were doing and thought I was trying to do the same thing. We're priced in a way where 200 pieces are available at any given time, and it's on a reduced discount curve. So that way it's never being gambled on at $70,000 and $80,000. If a piece ever sells for that much, it'll be because that's what the market rate of the pieces are, period. And they're not being undercut by the free market, because people are holding on to them and enjoying what they've published into the brand. And that's the idea. That's the exact idea. And I'm really proud of this. But yeah, I just think it's really unique. Really interesting that these data shards have these unique art in the background, right? Like, if they're a data shard, why would it just be like this abstract blank nothing? Huh? Why does it have to have a unique artistic uniqueness to it? It's because it's the exact same publishing method. Okay, we're co-publishing on a public notary, shared property. In this case, they're doing this to steal all of our data. But like I said earlier, when I take a picture with a Canon camera or with my phone, I own that published result. The software on my phone does not own the result. Canon doesn't own the result. What is this? This is a OnePlus. So OnePlus doesn't own the result. T-Mobile doesn't own the result. I own the result. Now, in T-Mobile's terms and conditions, there might be some sneaky language about, oh, we're going to take the photos that you upload and it's going to be on page 70. Okay. And then we can take them and we can express them as data shards into our data campaign collection without you knowing. No consent, no informed consent. This is the informed consent. It's the contract that you signed for the service. Okay, or the terms and conditions that you click through when you sign up for Facebook or Instagram. That's your informed consent. It's not actually informed consent. So they did, but well, I'll tell you what, they did not have informed consent to bastardize this form of publishing into this form of publishing, because this form of publishing, which is we want to say this is the true precedent, and that's okay with me, but this form of publishing is exactly what I'm describing. It's a shared property, publishing titles, co-publishing owners. That's what's happening here. Shared property, publishing title, co-publishing owners. That's what's happening here. Not a shared property, not a publishing title, not a co-publishing owner. This is a collection. This is a data shard that has been contributed. Now, story protocol, which I have not gone into at all. This is that's the app that I'm using. Yeah, they're not specifically farming data on behalf of corporations, as far as I know. But even so, this is a bastardized form of co-publishing, and it shouldn't be happening this way. But the public can't even perceive that because of, I hate NFTs. Everything, all of blockchain's a Ponzi scheme. It's all a system of forward. A Ponzi scheme is a system of forwarded deposits. So that means that if I sold this to how much is this? $120. Goes in chat. Publish into the original brand, everybody. So if I sold this for $120, but I told the customer that I'm going to pay them $240 at a mature date, so a month from now, they will earn $240, and then they don't have to do anything. They're not setting up. They're not publishing a result that is going to earn $240. That's just the inherent premise of why they purchased it. They say, I'm going to buy it for $120, I'll do nothing, and I'm going to get my money back at a certain date, at a maturation date, or at a maturation condition. That's a Ponzi scheme. Okay? That's what that is. Even the Bored Apes weren't necessarily a Ponzi scheme. They were traded more like corporate real estate flipping at an exorbitant pump rate, which was exactly what their goal was. They're called Bored Apes. And they're co-publishing a yacht club. How are they co-publishing it? Gambling. Because they're degenerate gamblers. I'm not even mad at them. They're just doing what they said they were going to do. They're publishing their exact brand the way that their brand is describing that they're publishing. It's not even that clever. I mean, it is clever. It's a clever way to take us out if that was the intention. But it can't be, right? 3 weeks? Like, that's super main character energy. Is that 3 weeks? The spiritual journey. Yeah, a little bit main character energy, sure. But in the actual perceivable reality with like how people move and corporate information and all of that, do we really think that the Bored Ape Yuga Labs knew what I was doing at all? Absolutely not. And then they launched like a reaction? No, they just did this. This is 10,000 Punks. Launched June 2017, I believe, made available like off of a contract that randomized and printed the publication, which I did not do. These are all handcrafted pieces of art. I know this one's solid orange, but you guys love collectibles, so the joke of the solids is that there's only 10 of these in every 500. The rest of them are going to look like that. They'll all be dynamic pieces of art that I made. I'm a pixel painter, so I'll like take a photo and then I'll get in there and I'll mess with the photo till it's something I like. Like this one, that's a good example. I'll load it. Oh, I'm gonna right click save as. You can't right click and save as the rights to publish the 194th piece of our brand. In the deed. There's a deed to the property. Anyway, y'all needed to follow behavioral science and not reactive streamers. That's part of why I want to be on Streamer University, so I can learn to reach a larger audience so we can get back to this. Look, host and chat. Okay, there it is. This is a good. It's myself, Jeff, Kevin, and Rose. So it's the host at the studio, TYT host. I'm a little baby producer over there. Got fired after like 8 months of working there. Everybody's so silent about it. It makes me think I was fired for Hassan, like to come in and do this. Everything's so twisted about it, like with how people move. It's like so cronied up, and it's so weird. That's like, dude, did they fire me and jack my stage publication? Anyway, host chat. Now in this case, chat is on screen with the host, and we are doing the same thing, consuming and reacting, but we're doing it together. And this is prehistoric. This is a prehistoric edition of the show. I don't know Hassan Piker. He blocked me after I tried to teach him the difference between co-publishing and gambling on the potential of what is being co-published, like real estate flipping. And then he just blocked me. So he's not a journalist. A journalist reports newsworthy information. They don't sell sanctimonious reactions against information and then block people that actually have precedented information as a behavioral scientist to continue selling a narrative they made up that hurts actual publishers. So if he ends up in prison, know that it will be for defrauding the world of accurate information surrounding blockchain. And I don't have any problem with that at all, because the laws that are in the books clearly state you can't do what he did. Anyway, yeah, don't spit in my blood is what I've said the whole time. What's up, granduncle? I wish the audio played. It only plays on the phone. I put his Look at the Stars monologue from the most recent live-action Lion King. Now, for me, in our family tree, I'll be honest, I have more reverence and understanding and connection to the fact that his dad, Robert Earl Jones, is the anchor of all of our work and show business. His too. His impact is indescribable. It's massive on a global level, and any protection that I have from being related to that aura is a blessing that I can't really wrap my head around. But this guy, Robert Earl Jones, he's the pioneer. Okay, he was in the second wave of Hollywood during the second wave of showbiz. We'll say it that way, during the Harlem Renaissance of the 1920s and 30s. And because he worked with Langston Hughes, Don't You Want to Be Free in 1938, he was blacklisted almost immediately. So you can see it on his career that he got blacklisted 1939, 1940. Second wave pioneer. This is 10 years into Sound and Color being adopted. We were still making black and white films because, culturally speaking, melanin speaking, it was much cheaper to do black and white. No, Sound and Color. Wait. Sound and Color was 27 to 48. Yeah, I did a profile on that already. So he's blacklisted from 1940 to 1959. So you see 19 years of no movies. Now you could say it's struggling actor because a lot of people do 2 films and don't find another film or don't find another role. But in his specific case, he's doing work with Langston Hughes, Don't You Want to Be Free, and then he gets blacklisted. Now he fights on Broadway, cleaning subway stations and hotel lobbies, sending money back to my grandmother's childhood when she's 5 years old, sending money back, making sure she got food on the table. So that's why I share a reverence with Robert Earl Jones in my career anchorship with Robert Earl Jones more so than James Earl Jones. So I don't ever want it to be considered like a clout chasing thing. It's just something that like the agents say. This is one of the best pieces of advice I've ever had. Was it Goldberg at Worldwide Production Agency told me this? Let it mean what it needs to mean to the. There it is. Let it mean what it needs to mean to the folks who need it to mean something, and be grateful. And that's not to belittle anybody who needs to mean something. There are going to be people who've never had a chance to connect with anybody out of Star Wars at all, and now all of a sudden they meet one of James Earl Jones' grandnieces or grandnephews. That applies to my sisters. My brother passed away, so I just say my sisters now. But that applies to my siblings. It applies to my and all my cousins, and their kids. You know, that just applies to you. You're part of the stewardship. And so if we have a cousin that ends up in jail or ends up in a hairy situation or in a massively public situation, that could be bad for what we're trying to steward together as a family energy. And I'm part of that. Not a major part of that. I don't want to be a major part of that, but it's within what we can mention. I'm part of that. If you guys want to, this is James' son. His name's Flynn. Extremely talented voice actor. Look at him. He's so good. He's a good-looking man. And Mr. James Gunn. Mr. James, you're never going to watch this. Why would you watch this, James Gunn? Maybe if I say your name enough times, James Gunn, that you might watch this. Is he not the perfect cast for Mr. Freeze? Mr. Freeze. I don't want to plant a seed. I want to see what he does. I want to see what choices. I want to see where he lands and gets there, because it's look, iconic villainry is what we do. What we do. But look at, oh my goodness, what a handsome gentleman. And then so there you go. Flynn Earl Jones for Mr. Freeze. Flynn for Freeze. Would he not be a perfect Victor Freeze? His friends are oh, this is at the Celebration of Life. Who's this? Maybe that's another cousin of ours. What's deserved is on its way. You're damn right. Look, my job is part of being the structure of production is to champion the talent. And he's talent. I might be talent in my own way, but I don't have main character energy like that. I just don't have... Let me not scroll your gram. This is private stuff. Sorry, cousin. Okay. Robert Earl Jones died on September 7th in Englewood, New Jersey at 96 years old. So, hey, if not for my pelvic floor, I might last... Even with the pelvic floor, with the way things are going, you guys are going to make me last that long out of spite. So, why is this not the viral movement? Well, I chose the wrong folks at the start of this. They waited for the Bored Apes to come out, and they pointed at the Bored Apes and said, "You're trying to do that too." And I said, "Nope. We're trying to publish a brand on the public notary where everybody can own what their contribution is to the brand. And we're setting the stage for that exact publishing behavior. We're the first people ever." And they said, "No, your ego." And then so I had to fire two of my former best friends. But by the time that they'd done their damage, it was 3 months into the market. So that was end of June. This is end of March. By the end of June 2021, the narrative internationally had been set around Bored Ape Yacht Club flipping plots of publishing for gain. And we don't do that. We don't do that at all. We just publish results across from the plot of property. And so by the time it gets to Hassan's broadcast in January of 2022, he said, "Oh, I hate NFTs. The whole thing's a scam," blah, 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 and throwing his tantrum. Like I said earlier, up until that point, I still, even with the international narrative and all the news organizations moving around this narrative of gambling, you know, I had an easy time teaching that, hey, no, you can buy this and complete a result. And I think our sales record would show that. You can look at the sales record. But you can buy this and complete a result. What am I looking at? Oh, okay, that's how you do it. Really?
I don't think that's accurate. I think we've made it more than that. 80 owners. Yeah, maybe I've only made $2,000 off the brand so far. That's so against as the precedent. That's the precedent. Stop. That's so dumb. Oh, it's so depressing. I am depressed, honestly. I'm barely holding on. I have most of my stuff in the car. I've got half my stuff at my co-founder's house, and they're probably tired of that. But they're holding on to it because they do own 19% of the brand, and that's what they're publishing, and that's what they're being asked to do as the publishers of 19%. So they're going to continue to be asked to do that. Aaron and Ethan, thank you very much. We have the responsibility to steward and establish a publishing behavior. The properties that we're specifically publishing are just a part of that. Okay, so you can see here the first actual sale was, can you see there? Yeah, you can. What is that? June 16th, 2021, and our last sale was it really last year? That is sad. No, and I remember this because this is the Josh. Oh man, it's been a year and 4 months since our last sale of a brand. Anyway, 40 sales. I know we were shut down by this whole time. That's part of it. OpenSea as the marketplace actually shut us down for over a year and a half. So as we went almost 2 years without a sale there. Then we have yeah. So people accused me of a line goes up scheme, and it's really a gambling mitigation hedge. Like it's just a pricing system that makes sure that people can publish into the supply and make sure that people aren't gambling on the supply. Anyway, yeah. So I want to really get to co-publishing and ownership of shared property and away from data collection and data contribution of data shards. And even if they are going to do it that way, the language doesn't really concern me that much. It's more about making sure that every time this is expressed into the market, okay, like let's say this shard here, 18D2 CAC 0, CAC 0, right? Which is a contributing owner. At least they're labeled owner here. That's good. So I'd have to talk to people at Poseidon to understand what their business model is. So this is a publishing title of the Indonesian voice data campaign. I just want to make sure that we are owning and earning. So okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to focus on. So let's say that this specific data, are these all artistically unique too? Yeah, they are. Say that this specific data shard is then expressed into, I use Google Gemini, right? And I use Google Gemini for editing, template, concept, and format. So ethical AI use, the same way everybody should try to use these tools. And if I'm my Gemini, and I pay $20 a month. I do the $20 a month program. And if I ask them to write me something in Indonesian or do the podcast, you know, they have the LLM podcast. You can have them do fake podcasts about stuff, or I guess AI podcasts about stuff. If I ask them to do a podcast in Indonesian and then I'm paying for the use of, now some of my business should be paid to the contributor that is feeding the podcast, even if it's a fraction of a penny, because that will add up so quickly across the world of people using these tools. So even if the use rate is, I don't know, that one I have a hard time wrapping my head around, because I don't know the back end of how I do know the back end of like how this data shard might be chosen to be expressed versus another data shard.
So that part makes sense to me. But as far as like how to monetize that residual system to be fair to Poseidon and fair to the publisher, the co-publishing owner, I'd need to have a look, right? So we'd have to sit down around a table and discuss these things and figure out a sustainable way to do that. Because theoretically, once the data shards in the data collection now can be expressed hundreds of millions of times, and is Poseidon supposed to pay out for all of those uses, or should there be a cap on uses paid out? And then would I, and that's fine, I think that's fine, but if I'm gonna, now if I sign up as a co-publisher into this data campaign, I know that I'll be capped out at 500,000 payments, so that way the system's sustainable for Poseidon. And that could be an interesting way of doing business. But it would have to achieve those 500,000 uses in AI brain for that payout to occur. So, you know, these are conditional things, but we all need to demand this. We need to demand our publishing rights together, and this helps introduce the language for that. Shared property, publishing title, co-publishing owner. We're not going to be collected. We're not going to be contributing data shards as contributors. We are co-publishing owners and publishing titles in a shared property. We need to fight for this, because those publishing titles will earn residuals for market expression, like I just showed you. I could load that. Let's go take a look at what this shirt is earning from Paka. And by the way, you can buy a piece of Paka. There's the sponsor of this attempt to be on Streaming University. You can buy it. Oh my goodness. This just happened. Is it because I'm streaming? Oh, another point of application for my Streaming University. 18 years of hair. And I actually want to do a really cool streaming project inspired a little bit by Speed, who I show Speed, who's honestly, like, as of all the streamers, Kai Cenat's one of the most inspiring. I'm not slurping to get into the university. I'm just saying that one of the reasons why I want to get in is because of that. But I show Speed, his travel streaming has been incredible. What an incredible thing. So it actually inspired an idea where I said, you know what, this is all this hair. I do these weaves to keep the hair strong so it doesn't snap. So I do these weaves and I do a sew in. Like I do a wrap of a color or whatever, and then I'll sew it into the dread to make sure it doesn't, or to the lock for those who prefer. I like the term dread though. I don't think it's nasty. I think it's a great term. Fear me. Anyway, so what I want to do is I want to go around, and especially to the nations that I'm a part of. So I've got a bunch of different bloodlines, right? So like when I'll go to Kaw Nation and do it, and let a couple elders and weavers sew a story on here with thread. And now there will be a whole tapestry from root. Oh, yeah, my hair's long, and this is my hair. Okay, all the way to the end. All right, so look at that ornament. That one's cool. So, you know, this is meant to be decorated, but each one of these strands could be woven by a different tribe and a different set of weavers. And I could go around and do this. We could go around and do this for a while, like Red Bull. And I could. One of the groups I'm thinking of for this is Red Bull, because they seem like they'd be down for that. If there's one group that knows what to do with 18 years of hair as a marketing device, it's going to be Red Bull. Okay, this is its own thing. This is its own situation. This is its own sport. Look at that's interesting. That's all in frame. I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know if I could compete on any Guinness World Record book, but this is long hair, and I don't have any plans on stopping. And you see what happens to the. Where is that guy? No, it's on this side. One of them jumped ship the other day. I lost one. This is why I wrap them so they don't break. Dang it.
But I kept it, so I could fix it. Maybe I'll let the first one be woven by the streamers at Streamer University. Oh my god, there's so many seeds of clout. Stop it. I don't mind. Yeah, none of this is private information, so that's fine. Let's go look at the split on number 29, so I can look at this accurately for all y'all. Okay, so the T-shirt splits $5.80. I knew it was $5 and something. $5.80 to the co-publishing owner, which in this case is me. Well, it's actually Press Pass Season 1, the show. Yonkers Highness colorway splits $5.80. $32 shirt. Plus shipping and handling, I think it's like $37 total, maybe. $10,000 in the catalog. Now, $5.80 a shirt times 10,000 is $58,000 position. This is what we're talking about earlier with the shoved duck. A duck you've lined up. Every creator's doing this, but what we're not doing is we're not sharing each other's catalogs. And that creates, look, because this could be Speed, this could be Sinat. This could be Maya. This could be I don't know. What is that guy named? Black Nerd something. He's one of the dudes I got all the Marvel stuff from. So what we're not doing is we're not sharing the actual item opportunities in the catalog. We're competing with each other on every single transaction. That doesn't make any sense, because a lot of fans would like to have a hybrid collab item. Like, where was that? I think I just minimized it. Yeah, a lot of folks would like to have hybrid collab items, and instead of it being like super limited and limited run and just have things consistently be available through co-publishing, and now you're also including the publishing titles as potential transactions. Those should be much cheaper unless they're doing brand development at a high level like what we were doing. And I guess Bored Apes was brand development at a high level in their own way. Where was that Yonkers piece there? Where are you? Not this one, dang it. This one. So this is co-branded. It's co-branded between the show of Press Pass Season 1, one of the teams in the show, and then which is a sports mockumentary, and then it's the colorway from that team expressed into the Paca logo. So it's a really cool piece to wear as a hybrid thing. It's, and I could wear this to the role play tables for Yonkers Highness if I'm going to role play as a Yonkers Highness character. That's a cool, now I've got something that's like sort of team official, kind of. It's it's official collab. Get a piece that maybe nobody else has. You get a full kit too, just a wear consistent, something cool, a nice colorway around. Pan-African United Community Advocacy. It's the brand started by Xeon Tedese. We call it PACA for short. And it's a co-publication on our same publishing structure. So these are great demonstrations of co-published catalogs where we're allowing title or people are not licensed. License is use of. Okay, we want ownership. I want somebody to own number 29. And when they own number 29, you're the one who formed the intellectual property. You can say what the property exists to do. So if 29 only exists to do certain things, then it can express into the merchandise, into the newsletter, into events, and then back into the supply. They can make number 40 or something like that. That's what PACA is. I just gave you guys the exact publication for PACA. But that, that's what that is. So you can support the information by buying from our catalog or tipping, because I need to pay bills. I need to pay bills. That's my last plea, the one that's a little bit more personal. As it did, that's not a thing, Kimani. Delete that comment. As a disabled media producer who is 36, and my own services, which are like more so community services, are getting wiped out by AI. People don't need it anymore. I'm having a hard time making a living. And with my health issues and the fact that I do have to spend time draining my stuff, my guts, every day,
it does make it hard to keep a consistent time schedule when applied to things. I'll have no trouble at Streaming University because I know that if I can't do an activity or if I have to disappear for a little bit to take care of an issue, it probably won't affect what everybody else is doing. I don't want that to be content, but that said, it's digestive issues. I've been cut into a bunch of times. My intestines are super malformed. I'm sure there's a bunch of other people throughout the world going through that. I'm totally confident and can handle talking about it and even displaying some things. And I think it would help clear up for people in my own life what I go through. That'd make it a lot easier for people to understand me. So I think I'm not going to shy away from it, but it is, because it's all digestive stuff, it is inherently one of those things where it's like kind of gross, in my opinion, to deal with. I wouldn't mind a red cut. I would not mind the red cut. But I got I got the deep royal, which turned out real well. I like it. Okay. 580 to the co-publisher, 580 to Paca. 10,000 units in the catalog. So if you see any Paca running around, or if you see any musical bears, know that the catalog items are extremely limited. And they're co-published. So what you're wearing, I'm wearing a $58,000 position on my chest for a community member. In this case, it's the show of Press Pass. So if you like the information that you heard today, I got to make a living too, so I'm going to put my PayPal in the stream for tips, Cash App in the stream for tips, and Venmo in the stream for tips. Because I'm not, I guess I'll show that too. Kai, my brother, I'm a YouTube pioneer as well. I ever talk about that? Look at this. Y'all want to see something? My algorithm's funny. Oh, this guy's kind of annoying because he's making a bank off AI, but he's like kind of talking to people out of doing AI. So it's sort of hypocritical. Okay, I don't want to look. 1.9 million views. Thank you, blessings. Thank you. Everything founded in faith will succeed. It will never fail. May 2nd, 2007. Y'all, this is from the first 2 years of YouTube even being a thing, I believe. Yeah, I think so, because it was 2005 when YouTube came out, summer of 2005. So I had one of the first viral videos. No, well, in relative terms, yeah, I did have one of the first viral videos on the comment or on the platform. So this is the other channel. Venomy Snicket is the channel I used to make stuff under. I still have this channel, but I don't often visit it. I did a Game of Thrones meme a few years back. So yeah, there's some stuff there. Most of it's found footage, music videos, and the high school stuff. I liked the way it was preserved. Some JUCO stuff. A couple of college pieces. I think I made this at UC Santa Cruz. Yeah, definitely the Alkaline Trio piece. I made it at UC Santa Cruz. I remember doing an edit. Took me all night. The nostalgia. Okay, so I used to work as the assistant program manager at Digital Arts New Media at UC Santa Cruz. And I had keys to the whole building. And we had this one office space that wasn't like, it was nobody's office, but there's a couch in there. And so what I did was I had a month where I needed to like make a grind lab for myself to edit some pieces. So I borrowed a Mac from the equipment room and I set up a station in that unused office where there was a couch in there. And I literally like slept there more nights than not for the course of about a month while I was editing a whole nother film. And then during that process, I think I was editing Gestalt, and I might have been doing prelims for Devil You Don't by then at the same time. And then during that process, I made this music video for Alkaline Trio. It wasn't sanctioned or anything, but it's got
2,000 views. Sadie of the Manson gang. This song is about her, and so I made a video. Anyway, this one was. Anytime I'm editing a film, I also make a found footage music video. I always realize that. The misguided ghost I did when I was editing Devil You Don't. I remember that. Okay, enough reminiscing. So yeah, industry, if you want to know where my catalog expertise comes from, it's not necessarily from show business. I have seen enough of those catalogs to set up my own anyway. But beyond that, I used to actually do this stuff at a high level for tool wholesalers. It's not glamorous, but it is effective when it comes to the information and how to. So now we're going to do this. We're going to co-publish each other's catalogs, shove the duck up, and sing on the bear. To get there, I would like to join the Streamer University program, learn how to be a more charismatic individual, learn how to represent myself in a more sociable way. I think I get along with the younger generation just better. And like I said earlier, not in a weird way, just in like that good, the good times way. And the reason I get along with y'all better, I think millennials, we do a lot of yapping, but not a lot of doing. And what I mean by that is socialism. When we're talking about, I've never seen that happen before. It's got to be because I'm streaming. But it's fine. What happens is I try to make a living, my entire living off of publishing titles and the results from the publishing titles. And there's almost zero market engagement. And so what happens is the same, I want to say 10 to 15 people have been sustaining me over the past 3 years. And the way I've been able to have that happen and be able to do this work, like these giant spreadsheets and all of this stuff, the minutia, is by making myself so marginal as an expense. I only have maybe a total of $200 a month in bills. Y'all won't even give me enough market to pay that, in publishing titles and then in buying the merchandise and the downline results. So, but just keep in mind, anytime you're buying co-pub anything like Here First Bear, you're wearing $64,000 of potential income on your chest for a co-publisher in the community. I think that's pretty cool. This one's also a $32 shirt. Yeah, I think that's pretty amazing. I think that's pretty incredible. Don't sleep on viral style. I know that a lot of folks, it's just this is a publishing platform that anybody can go use and set up catalogs. I think they're beautiful, and they don't discriminate. So even if you feel they should discriminate, keep in mind that sanctimony is an addictive brain state. So I can set up a catalog, and then I can share the profit from the performance of the item, which in this case is 7. They're doing a little bit better than spring. The shirt is a little bit cheaper though. It's a little thinner. This is the spring item, and I know this is a thicker cotton than the shirt, than the Here First Bear shirt. But so on when I'm wearing a Here First Bear shirt, I'm wearing $7,720 on my chest as a total position, as the shoved duck. The shoved duck across from the shirt. So that's a cool esoteric. Oh, okay. Well, when you see a plot of Community Garden Publishing, and you ask, what is the shoved duck across from that specific item? A real person will, maybe they won't know. Like customers won't necessarily see this information, but they can ask the publisher for it. They'll say it's $7,000. I'm wearing a $7,000 shoved duck on my chest. Or in the case of the Paca tracker,
I'm wearing a 57,000. No, it's this. It's this shirt. It's this one. $58,000 Chef Duck on my chest right now. I have a commenter that asked me, "Can I play Fortnite on Streamer University?" I'll play whatever games that y'all want me to play. I am a league player. I'm not very good, but I am one of the best KDA players in the country and one of the best unkillable Demon King players in the country. So I will pride myself on that. The league play is more because that game is very concise, and it's like I have, as somebody who's now had 6 surgeries on my pelvic floor, and my intestines are all malformed. I got to do all these interesting things to survive. I can't go run around and play basketball anymore. It's not necessarily inherently dangerous for me to do so. So you might see me like give it a shot or run out, like get out there for a couple possessions with the guys if I make it into the Streaming University program. But as far as video games, like I'll do whatever you guys want me to do. But like I'm a Smash Melee guy. You bring out Smash Melee, I'll kick ass. Kooky Dud asks, "Can I play Rocket League?" Chat. Hey, I said it because I actually have chatter today. Thank you, Kooky Dud. I am able. I have the physical ability to play both Fortnite and Rocket League. I have never played either game. I've never played Fortnite. I've never played Rocket League. I'm familiar with both. So if you want chopped unk on Streamer University to learn to play all these games that you guys play, that could be fun. That could be a fun program. But I'm not going to tell the Streamer University program how to do anything. I don't want to. That's the number one thing, is I don't want to portray any sort of entitlement just because I was TYT community back in the day. I did 3 episodes, I believe, 3 or 4 episodes of that show before I was fired. And then I never went back to streaming for any other reason. The Lens Face show that I did was a story show. So I would upload those clips to a story and then edit from the story uploads. And that was a really cool way of doing it. I can't lie. That was a really cool way of getting content done. So if I'm doing the Stream University, I'll probably go back to my Lens Face format and just do story uploads and then sit and do a couple hours of editing once every couple of days and get little bits out. Kooky Dud says, "Trust me, buy Red Dead Redemption 2. Its peak, it changed my life." I like the Red Dead games. I mean, once again, I've never played either one of them, but I watch the clips. I understand how they work. Grand Theft Auto 5 is something I've played a little bit of. So, I get that it's Grand Theft Auto in the Old West. Westworld GTA. But yeah, if y'all want to see Kimani Okearah on Streamer University, make a case for me. Yeah? We mean my 22 concurrent views. It would be a choice of out of left field, but I do have enough industry experience and enough really earned clout. It's not, the unearned clout is, he's James Earl Jones' grandnephew. So people who want to understand the difference there, now remove the incest from the equation because that's not relevant in my family. But this is grand auntie, okay? And this is grand nephew. So let's make them side by side while I talk about this. And for my for my sisters, there's probably only one of them who even knows what I'm talking about with this comparison, but we're all the same boat. What is going on? I just want the picture blown up. Is it that hard to ask for? There you go. Okay. Grand auntie, grand nephew. Okay. I just realized that her other grandnephew married her daughter. And in fact, I think both of her grandnephews were going to marry both of her daughters. And that's the thing that I want completely removed from the Earl Jones stuff. Okay, so Kooky Dud asking, what games do I play? Like I said, I play League of Legends, and that's because if I want to stop doing this for 45 minutes and reset my brain, I can hop onto League, play a game. It's like playing around a basketball 5-on-5, and then hop back into my work. It feels a lot better if I win. I don't like going back to my work off a loss, but I do like that. Cookie Dud says, "What will you do for $3,000?" Man, here. Here you go. I have assets that are available for $3,000. Let's take a look at these, because if you have $3,000 and you want to give me $3,000, I am not going to stop you. I desperately need a break of any kind, so I'm not going to stop you. But I would say grab an asset for yourself, so you're not... There you go. Grab an asset for yourself. So grab a publishing title. You get title to this specific image. It's a 5K image of 5K image of Willie Cauley-Stein dunking over Rudy Gobert that I took in 2017 on a 24mm Nikkor lens from 1970, so no stabilization. And you can see the quality of the shot. You can print this on canvas at 6-7 feet and hang it up on a wall. If you get commercial licensing from Rudy, who probably wouldn't give you that. He might actually. And you want to put it on a postcard or something, work with the Jazz and the Kings and put it on a postcard, you might be able to do that. So that you have control of the asset. I'm at 35% of the commercial expression of that asset. But there you go. That's about $3,000. What do you think, Kooky Dud? You got me? I'll put it in chat for you. All you have to do is buy 1.751 Ethereum. Add an extra 1 on there. Add a couple of dollars to your purchase so you can pay for the fees. And then you collect this piece. You own the piece. That's now your image. You can just do what I just did if you want. Go in here. Wait, that's not how you do it. There's a sequence. You click here, blow it up on, pull up the pop-up image first. Then you right-click, open image in new tab. That's the 5K image as uploaded. So you can save image as and go get it printed at your local Canvas printer or on the Amazon Canvas printer. Have them print and then have them just repeat edges to do the wrap. So on Canvas printing, they can mirror the edges so they can do the wrap around the corner. And then you'll have this shot you can hang up on the wall. If Willie ever does a podcast, this would be a great shot to put up on the wall. But, I don't think there's too many people that are going to be interested in a Willie Cauley-Stein photo. Yeah, that's why the Valarian thing is not the best example, because she married her 2 daughters, and I'm not planning on... I think Flynn is an only child, and yeah, no, we don't do things like that, my homies. Okay. You're a Kooky Dud. I got another one for you. It's Klay Thompson, looking hella goofy in his shooting motion. What? So if your question of what will I do for $3,000 had any other implications to it than do what I already do in terms of media publishing, sorry, I can't help you. When it says ending in 2 days, I'll make sure it's for sale. I do inventory once a month to make sure things are listed. So if anything's unlisted and it needs to be, and you were like, hey, I wanted to buy this, but it's not available, just DM me on Instagram and make sure that I know. Hey, Cookie Dad, you got 40 grand? Because I got a rare picture of LeBron James here from his second stint in Cleveland. Is this championship Ron? When was this? This is... If this is 2017, I don't... Ooh, did the Cavs win in 2017? Or was that the Durant Durampian shit? Oh, that's why I always get it confused, because Steph Curry won MVP in 2016, but they won the chip in 2017, and this was the famous. Oh yeah, Mike Brown's coached in the finals a few times. I forgot that he was here 10 years ago with the Cavaliers. No, it was none of these games. They avoided the sweep. I don't know if this was the series where J.R. Smith did his goofball mistake. I don't remember. But anyway, championship LeBron. That's what this is. MVP Curry. There you go. Here's another $3,000 shot. If these could find a market, my life would be very different in a short amount of time. And because I have catalogs to buy from in co-publishing, I can turn around and share these big wins, these big chunky wins with the community by turning around and putting money back into the people who have been putting their time into our publications and getting the behavior set correctly. Okay, I think I got through every point. I don't want to keep rambling. I need to go get something to eat. Thank you all for supporting. And as I said earlier in the stream, anything founded in faith will never fail. Anything founded in faith will never fail. And I have faith in y'all that we will be co-publishing property together. We won't be volunteering the property to be contributed as data. That we are eliminating the precedent. I own this computer, and I publish with a software on the computer. It is the published result is my result. I own my phone. If I publish anything with my phone, the published result is my result. The social media companies have gotten away with this idea that they can extract what we're publishing and then turn it into their result that they can monetize without paying us. And now it's expanded into AI, which definitely violates the publishing rights of somebody like me, because this is look. The way that I'm doing this, any AI bot can do that too. Now they can pixel scrape a 5K image of Kobe Bryant and Boogie Cousins. They're violating my publishing rights, and they're violating my personal agency deed, which carries an infringement of $277,000. But there's nothing to stop them, and there's nothing to the thing that let's be clear. I'm asking them to purchase this before they do that. If they wanted to do that and they purchase this, then they say, okay, we're going to express it into our AI data pool. I believe the terms of that are in the shot. Yeah, it's right here. Okay. but it's 14 grand for being over Boogie. Cookie Dud, did you leave me? All right. Well, millennials, 8.24 Ethereum for the Kobe retirement tour. Shot of the back of his jersey and him shooting over Boogie Cousins. A great shot for any sports parlor, and it is black and white. This is out of the black and white series. There's a lens face series too. I'm probably not doing myself justice if I don't go look at the lens face series. These are the publishing titles that lead into press pass characters, by the way. Well, you can buy episodes of lens face. I'm not going to buy an episode for 1,000. They're 101s. What? Treat it like Pokemon cards, y'all. DeMarcus, do me a favor and buy this. It's the cheapest it's ever been. It's $2.50. I know you're buying a shot of yourself. It's weird, but give me some of that Mongolian money, brother. I need to eat too. I got small bills to pay. This will actually get me through the end of June. No problem. Zero issue. That's how marginal my life is. Hell, I'll even go to Santa Cruz for a few days and spend some time at the beach. It's been a long time. Yeah, that'd be nice. And Kai Sanat, regardless, I'm from a small town called Forest Hill, California. We're a town of about 4,000 people hidden in the hills. They should be all doing this, you know, but it's not. I can't fault the town. It's just how I'm presented to them by the people that have made me subject to themselves for a state of sanctimony. It's ridiculous. This one's a great piece. 288 for number 173 in the puzzle. And it just says, "You are great." And I painted in over what it already said. So, you know. I love y'all. I'm going to wrap this up. Please let me into the university. Yeah, I stated my goals. I want to elevate my career as a publisher at 36. I feel like I'm hidden behind the scenes of what's been done. And that's okay. I don't really have that main character energy of wanting to be a celebrity. It seems like such a chore. But at the end of the day, I need these assets to have some market push to them outside of potential. I'm not a potential publisher. I am a publisher. I got caught up in the trade of potential based on an antecedent, but that's an inappropriate framework to apply to an original. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Like I said, my equipment isn't exactly up to date for streaming in the modern era and day. That might have to be looked at. And I live out of my car. Like, real talk, y'all. Half my stuff's in my co-founder's house, and if it ever came down to it and it got too hot or too weatherful to sleep, I sleep in a building every night. Let me put it that way. Most every night I sleep in a building, so I'm grateful for the connections and resources that I do have. But this is tiring, and I do this because these don't sell. There's no market for this. There's no market for this because we have people. Everybody believes what this guy said. He's talking about an antecedent, not the precedent. He could be presenting the precedented science from a platform colleague. I don't fucking know this guy, but it is what it is. I would bring up the crimes that he's committed, but like I said, I'm just trying to teach catalog co-publishing and stage co-publishing in the streaming world to streamers and learn how to be a better streamer myself. So thank you all for your time over at the Kai Cenat crew. I really do. I love your stuff. I love this website here. I already turned in my application I did. Well, I guess I could watch the application video. Where is that bad boy?
No, the real problem seems to be in here.
How? I keep the kitchen clean, I only eat healthy food.
Or do you? Make no mistake, this is actual video footage of Anthony eating out of the garbage. Think of all the starving children in Africa that could have eaten that garbage. What a f***ing beehole.
Again, that's not even me.
What are you talking about, you dirty old country music? Can you believe T Swift used to play that genre of music? I mean, the pop's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Man, where'd I put that thing? Oh, here it is. Hi, Kai Sanat and team. My name is Kimani Okearah. I'm a producer of 24 years now. Yeah, old head over here. I'm one of the original chat daddies of the genre. Hairline is fine, though. Ooh. There's
right
a
now
program that
is to re-engage the American people in the process of governance, to get them excited and interested again in what works.
Hi, my name's Kimani David. I'm the Young Turks Community Ambassador, and this is the first ever episode of TYT Community, in which we have community members from all over the country, all over the world, come talk about important issues. Hi, everybody. Would you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Jeff Waller, a TYT community member, obviously.
2012.
I'm from Michigan, and that's it.
You can tell that this is TYT Community, a program that I formulated as a producer while working at the Young Turks. I was fired maybe 2-3 months after. This was October of 2012. I was canned probably by February of the next year. Although I can tell all those stories if I make it onto your roster. But yeah, you guys know what happened to TYT after 2012, where a certain piker came along and started doing that exact sort of programming. So that's starting to make the rounds, because the other thing that I'm an origin for is... Yeah, y'all call them NFTs. I hate that term. I call them publishing titles, because I am a behavioral scientist and a media publisher, and I am at the forefront of collective publishing using a public notary service. And so I would like to learn how to stream and just carry myself in a personable way. I know I'm not a charming person. I know I'm not easy or fun to watch. I've never cared about it. It's never been something that's concerned me. This is the first publishing title of the brand of Let Me Out Productions, March 31st, 2021. This is their first. I'm wearing one of the expressions. By the way, 18 years of hair. So that's fun. I have a real fun project that I want to do where we can go around, because I'm Afro-Indigenous, I'm Black and Native, so I want to go get, and I'll stream it too, and we can do cultural teachings. I want to get weaves done on every single one of these from a different nation across the world, and we'll have a really comprehensive artwork on 18 years of hair. I think I'm in my 17th going on 18th year. 36, last time I cut my hair I was 19 years old. So March 28th, 2021, publishing title for Musical Bears. Let Me Out Crypto Bears Musical. March 31st, 2021, publishing title for the brand of Let Me Out Productions. Okay. Y'all have heard of this. But I'm not presented as the precedent in the behavior of publishing a brand this way. This is April 22nd, 2021. This is Board Ape number 0, the first one that ever moved. So I've set the precedent a precedent in streaming chat-interactive deliverables? Nobody knows. I'm not looking for fame. If I wanted that throne, I clearly had something. I could have gone home with it too. You know, it's a behavior. That's part of my issue. It's like my ambitions are not to be famous. My ambitions are to teach this, which is collective publishing and a shared catalog and shared intellectual property rights for all, publishing rights for all, especially in these times. So I'm on my 4th minute. Thank you all so much for taking the time. I have no children of my own. I'm a straight man, 36 years old. I'm gray asexual, so I'm hardly ever interested in anything. But when I am, the interests are straight and my own age. So that's good for everybody. I don't have any kids. In fact, I have, if you're squeamish, look away. I have a gnarly disability here. I've been cut here to here, here to here, on this side, and so I have to manually drain my intestines to survive, and that takes a good portion of time. So if I am on your campus, please don't have me have a roommate. 1, I'm a grown man, and then 2, just for both of our sakes, there's stuff I would really like to be able to handle in private without being consumed by the general public. I'm not, just no stigma or shame about it, but I'm ready to talk about surviving something like that. But yeah, Kimani Okearah. Oh, one last little thing. Why didn't I bring this up? What are we talking about? Look, y'all, I spent 10 years in the NBA. Look, there's musical bears. Yeah, look at them cuties. I spent 10 years in the NBA as a photojournalist. So we'll just play a little clip of this real quick. Bogdan. His name's Bogdan, but I've always said Bogdan.
Len's face, last episode of the 2018-2019 NBA season. It's the last home game. Kings versus Pelicans. I gotta say, the concourse outside the arena, everything behind me here, looks exactly like the 3D renderings they did before they built this place.
Okay.
So
anyway, y'all, thanks for watching. If you want an original streamer, like from before there was ever interface, I need people to think about this. When we're talking about TYT community, this is me putting everything together on a Stratocaster using Google Hangouts. I made my own chyrons, and I did the whole, I had a broadcast studio, so I had to use broadcast studio equipment, and I fed that to YouTube. So I had to put together my own Twitch to demonstrate what that product even was. So I'm here to learn. I'm not here to lord this over anybody. What if I wanted to do this, I could have done it. I don't know how to do that. So here's a little template for baby boy Hassan over there. And then past that wasn't my career, but now I have stuff to communicate. I've been through some things. And yeah, thank you all so much. Appreciate your time. Yeah. So that was the video that I sent into this admissions. I wanted to do a longer stream because I saw other creators were doing longer streams. I wanted to, didn't want to be lazy about that. And, if streaming is the way to teach co-publishing and get folks in on the productions that we're doing, that must be what I have to do. But I do need to get to a point of stability before that. And right now I'm extremely unstable. I know it doesn't seem like it, but that's off the grace of the people around me and the community that I'm a part of in Sacramento. And it's a small community of people that want to publish results with and for each other, but we are doing that, and you're welcome to join us. And frankly, we get enough sponsors probably once every 2 weeks, just because I have to eat, that there's enough budget room to get somebody a free bear or a free piece of Paca every now and again. So if you're like me and you're on the margins and you would just like to get involved, just reach out. There's no shame in that. You will never find me quote tweeting or quoting your DMs and trying to shame you for any reason at all. I don't do that. like that is just not worth my time. If we're ever at a point where there's like a disagreement or a beef or something like that, I need to leave the room. I'm out. It's just not a space I even want to go into, and my team will tell you that. They know me so well when it comes to all that stuff. Okay, y'all. Thank you again for watching. I would really like to get into Streaming University. I think I have a lot to add, and I think I'm an interesting character to add to the team. So, all right. Thank you again.